layers in the earth would testify to that. So the fact is, if it really existed, there would have been archaeological evidence of which there is none.
Well, that doesn't work anymore because just a couple years ago they came out and said that there's an ocean under the surface that's larger than all the oceans
No,
on the
that has
surface
nothing to do
combined.
with what I just said. So
Well,
what
you
I
said there's
said,
layers, but did you know they just changed the layers? There's an ocean under there now. That
I'm
was never
not
there before.
talking about those layers. I'm talking about the layers they dig through archaeologically. I said archaeologically speaking. Okay? So that means they're only digging to a certain level. So what you're saying has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Yeah, I
What
know what you're
I
saying.
am
Like,
saying, what I am
every foot of the
saying
Grand
is,
Canyon is like 10,000 years or something. They're like
what I am saying is, when
sediment.
they dig into the earth to find things, there is no one single linear event that happened worldwide as a flood. There may have been floods in different places at different times, but there has not been a single flood that happened at the same time worldwide.
It's not possible.
There's zero
Also,
scientific evidence to back it.
Oh, hey, was there
also, KG, do you know how we have land on Earth? Do you know where the land came from? Every stitch of it. Do you know where it came from?
No.
Volcanoes. Every stitch of land on Earth came from volcanoes. So for you to say that there's an ocean up under it, well, it's kind of hard to believe.
There is speculation that there is a layer of water underneath the earth
Yeah,
and so on
scientists they
and
just
so
came out
forth.
about like a year and a half ago.
However, I said that is speculation.
And the reason I brought it up is because it's pretty outrageous. Like, it's crazy. But scientists are
Again,
saying that.
it is speculation. It is not scientific
Honestly.
proof. It is scientific speculation.
It was all
Please
over
do
the
not
I
news.
don't
say.
see how that could even.
Let's just Google
I
it.
don't see how that could even be possible. Because, like, okay, so look.
That's why I brought it up.
All right, so the mountains, right, and islands, right, all those are volcanoes that just came out of the ocean, right, and some of it exploded, right, and laid the foundation of land. But for the most part, like all the island countries, they're fucking mountains, bro. So I don't see how something that's full of magma, that's so hot that it came out the ocean, can be on top of some more water. I don't see how that's even possible.
I haven't really looked into it too much, Reggie. I will look into that later. But as I stated, it's speculation, KG. There's not evidence to it yet. A scientist can say they hypothesize something, that they suspect something. That doesn't mean there's any scientific evidence for it.
Scientists
So,
will say whatever the person that's paying them tells them to say.
no,
Like-
no. That's what a money-hungry person would do. A scientist would not do anything for the money. Scientists to do it for science.
You know, I took physics in college, and one of the questions on my final was, what two planets rain diamonds in their atmosphere? Rains diamonds. That was on my final. It's like Saturn and Jupiter or something. Like that's how would they know that? That's stupid. Rains diamonds. Because
I don't
they,
believe
It's called androids. It's called robots. They have machines that go onto these planets.
like
But
NASA scientists say that like our atmosphere rains rain. They say their atmosphere rains diamonds. How is that even possible? They say the gravity is so
I don't
intense.
believe that.
I don't believe it at all, but it was on my final.
Does any? I don't believe it was on your final either.
It was. All I got to do is just Google what two planets rain diamonds, and it'll come up as a fact. I brought it up because it's crazy.
Okay.
Like the facts that they're telling us are crazy.
Hey,
Yeah, I think you just up here just saying anything.
hey, I wanted to ask, right, you know how it's been debunked that there was a full event that happened in the earth that caused a worldwide impact, at least for the dinosaurs, right? Like on a flood, right? That an asteroid hit, and that's how all the dinosaurs were alive.
Yeah, dinosaurs. Have you ever heard of the bone wars? Two guys were finding bones, and they were just
Oh no, what's that about?
there's only like 2 or 3 bones of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like They just made up dinosaur sounds. Like two guys, every dinosaur fossil in a museum, they're not the real fossils, and all the museums admit that. They say that the real fossils are they're radioactive and they're expensive and they're rare, so they're hidden away. And it's like crushed up chicken bones.
It doesn't matter. They still have them. And also, that proves that your theory about God and all that shit's not true because they've also found dinosaurs with cancer on them. So,
With what? Like
cancer.
You know how big a Brontosaurus Rex is?
Let's just clear.
It doesn't matter. They still found it.
I had to look into that ocean under the ground shit, and I just want to make sure we do understand that it is not liquid. They're saying it's trapped in crystal structures of minerals like ringwoodite and whatever this other word is. So it's like 1% water by weight. It's not literally an ocean. So I just want.
Like let's say outer space planets, like they say they shoot laser beams at the sun and it reflects back and they could tell what the surface is made of. They could tell how hot it is. Like they could get all the information by shooting a laser beam at it and it bounces back. How's that possible? And James Webb telescope and shit, they take pictures of the Big Bang. Like, no way. You know what I mean?
But those pictures that they're taking are not necessarily what is currently. Okay.
No, it's not currently, because if a planet is 100 million light years away from us and they look back at Earth, they would be taking pictures of Earth from 100 million.
I thought they were shooting laser beams at the moon to get a reflection back to prove that they actually went to the moon. I've never heard of them shooting laser beams at the sun.
Well, that's how they know that's how they know what all the planets are made of, like the atmosphere, the temperature, what. That's how they say they have all this information on them, and it's bullshit.
You don't believe we went to the moon, do you?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It don't affect my life. I don't really think about it.
Like
I'm a
you spent
STEM
$30 billion
major.
to go to the moon in the space race, and Russia was also trying to get there, and they were close, we were close, but we won. And you mean to tell me that Russia, like America won, they like quit and they didn't continue on with trying to get there? And then they asked NASA.
They didn't
if we're ever
quit.
gonna go back
That's
to the
why
moon.
they're one of the major players in space exploration.
NASA says we can't go back to the moon because unfortunately we lost all that technology and it's a painful process to build it back. And they all the videotapes, they have no evidence.
It ain't worth the money.
Only because of the conditions of the moon. I don't think people realize that the moon is over 200 degrees in the sunlight, and it's like negative 300 or something in that frame, like in the darkness. So I don't think they went simply because of the conditions.
Yeah, like that's logical. That would be like being, for instance, I know this is a silly reference, but in Chronicles of Riddick, he gets sent to a jail planet called Crematorium, where it's pretty much that same exact concept. Where it's over a couple hundred degrees on the surface when the sun is hitting it because of its closeness. And then it's less as it's, that's negative when it's in the dark.
Yeah, and they say there's only 6 cameras on the planet that could withstand those temperature changes. And they say all 6 of them are at Stanley Kubrick's house.
Hey, yo. Hey, look. I should have did this like 15 minutes and 20 minutes ago when it first happened. I got a restriction for really no reason because it said hate speech. Wasn't even nobody saying any hate speech. Somebody probably fucking reporting it live for no reason. I'm going to start it over.
Yahweh.
That is
Jesus was Jewish, right? Jesus was Jewish, right?
According to the story, Jesus was a Jew, right?
Yeah, I am. According to the story, Jesus was a Jew, right?
Right?
You guys trying to put stuff in my mouth now?
I'm asking something, bro. Was Jesus a Jew according to the story?
Sure.
Okay. Who was the God of the Jews?
I don't care about no Jews, nigga.
Jesus Christ. Are you trolling us right now, bro?
Bro, are you serious right now?
Yes, I'm serious right now. Hold on. Yeah. Yaim, you dumb, stupid, fuck ass nigga. The God of the Jews was who? Bitch ass boy. The God of the Jews was who?
You're tough online now.
Bitch boy. Who was the God of the Jews?
Sacramento?
Bitch boy. Who was the God? Bitch boy. Who was the God of the Jews? Who was the God of the Jews? Bitch boy.
This is about Christianity.
Who was the God of the Jews? Who was the God of the Jews? Who was God of the Jews?
Right.
Who was God of the Jews?
I'm muting for a minute.
God of the Jews.
I'll meet you again. So, the God of the stop talking. Stop talking. The God of the
stop talking, pussy boy.
The God of the Jews. You good? You good, bro? The God of the Jews, his name. The God of the Jews, his name is Yahweh.
I don't care about no.
But you said you praying to the Most High. The Most High, according to Jesus, in the
and is Yahweh. According to Jesus, the Most High is Yahweh. No, we're gonna keep on muting you because we're gonna keep on muting you. We're gonna keep on muting.
Nobody didn't even say nothing. Nobody wasn't even arguing. None of that shit.
Speaking of the Bible, I learned that night. They put all the religious stuff under the table and they prayed to God overnight to put all the stuff he wanted to get put in the Bible on top of the table. And they went home and they came back and all the stuff was on top of the table. But
I know you don't believe that.
I don't believe it either, but I'm telling you, I looked it up and I only researched it for like 10, 20 minutes, but they're not, it's in the I guess there's a Christian encyclopedia. Like they're saying that's what happened. Like, that's crazy.
That is not what happened. That's not what happened. That's a lie like a motherfucker. They picked them based on a dating range that they thought.
Like the what do they call that? The timeline or whatever they call it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's really the truth. I mean that's their logical explanation. I don't know if that has any outside influence. I would believe that it did, based on whosoever is fucking Bible narrative that they want to keep going, because I do know that the other books that weren't canonized in that situation, if we're talking about the New Testament, give contrary views of Jesus. I know that for a fact.
And I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of like porn in the Bible because all that foot washing. So, foot washing was a euphemism for schlub in the knob.
Yes, I heard that too. I've heard that too.
So all that foot washing that was going on was not foot washing. And this is information that I got from a theologian. So,
I actually almost believe that. Like, there's writings where Paul was jealous of John because John would sit on Jesus' lap and they would kiss each other on the lips. And the explanation was because kissing on the lips is it's like a religious thing because God gave you the breath of life or something like that.
well, they also removed the Gospel of Mary, which alluded to the fact that Jesus and Mary were married. And Jesus, since there was foot washing in both directions, was not straight.
Exactly.
And a lot of people use the Bible for a reason to say like gay people are going to go to hell. Michelangelo was gay. Leonardo da Vinci was gay. And this is crazy. King James was gay.
The reality is the section in the Bible that said "Thou shalt not lay with man." That was only changed in 1946. Before then, being gay was not a sin.
Right. I mean, it doesn't take away or whatever, but look up the letter that King James wrote to the Council of England in 1611. He's addressing the rumors that he's gay. And what he says in that letter is pretty crazy.
He tells him that Jesus is gay too. That's
he
what he says.
Yep. I got it written down here somewhere. He says, it is okay to be gay. King James was not gay. King James was gay. His lover was 14 years, a Frenchman named whatever, Esme Stewart. And then the love of his life was Buckingham George Dallas.
Buckingham.
Okay, guys, if you're in here, please tap everybody. Can we get at least like 2K?
I'll tap in a second. I apologize. I am multitasking. I'm currently cooking, so my hands aren't exactly on the phone where I would.
No, you're good. Thank you.
I have severe executive dysfunction, so the easiest way for me to get stuff done is to body double.
Doug, what's your Asian religion?
40, and I am a Christian. How you guys doing?
Terrible. Bible fact: not a single author of the New Testament ever met Jesus.
I'm obviously going to disagree with that.
And why would you do that, my man?
Just how we look at other internally anonymous works in ancient history, we can deduce that they actually wrote their.
Wait a minute. You saying because you deny the fact that not a single author of the New Testament ever met Jesus based on other shit? Other shit don't matter. We're talking about this. I don't care about nobody else but this.
Okay, well, how do you think we know who wrote anonymous works in ancient history?
We don't know.
Listen,
we have no idea.
Sassy. I don't care how.
I thought this
how we
was
wrote
a
anonymous.
logical discussion.
Sassy. Look at me. I don't care how we had any of that because that's not what we're talking about. What I have evidence about is that all the Gospels are anonymous. So that's what I'm going to talk about, and that's all that matters today, right?
So, Saucy, I'm going to ask you a question.
Talking.
This is an academic question, okay?
Talking.
So, what language did Jesus speak?
Aramaic.
What language is the New Testament written in?
Greek.
So, we
Koine
are
Greek.
now. So, one would deduce that if that's not the language that he spoke, that it's very unlikely that any of those people met him because it was not even in the language of which he spoke. So,
do you think it's possible that people were bilingual? We have good evidence that people were bilingual. Greek was the main language, and that obviously they knew Aramaic and Hebrew.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why you say obviously. There's no fucking formal school. You just think that everybody just walks around knowing all these languages.
We know Greek was the main language.
I'm sorry,
you would have to prove that these people were bilingual. You can't do that, so you're presupposing you're adding to it.
Yeah, and it's not very. It was not a common thing amongst the commoner to be bilingual because unless you were a merchant, needing additional languages was not necessary.
Well, the story they're telling us is the Bible was written by Hermetic Greeks, and at that time, Greeks were like at war. They didn't like the Jews, and that's why the Bible is very anti-Semitic. That's why we celebrate Easter instead of Passover.
No, the New Testament is very anti-Semitic.
Why would they create a Jewish prophet and then give him a Greek name? Jesus is a Greek name.
Do you guys know who wrote the Septuagint?
It is a Greek name. The people that's not what we're talking about.
Do you guys know who wrote the Septuagint?
No. It doesn't matter who wrote the Septuagint.
So it was Jews, and they wrote in what language do you think?
It
He
doesn't
just said
matter
it didn't
because that's not
matter.
the
What?
conversation. That's not the conversation that we're having today. See, Nugs, what you're trying to do is change the conversation to what you want it to be. And what you try to do is talk about whataboutism.
You just said there's no
Whataboutism doesn't matter.
evidence. You just said there's no evidence for bilingual.
No,
You said there
what I
is zero
said is
evidence.
there's
I just
no.
gave you.
What I said was you would have to prove that these people that we're mentioning were bilingual, and you cannot.
We can
The
infer.
Septuagint has nothing. The Septuagint has nothing to do with the New Testament at all.
Well,
We
yeah,
can
it kind of does.
infer that unless you
No, it
were a
doesn't.
merchant or someone of a higher standing, that they
Where
were
are you
not
getting that from?
bilingual.
Where are you getting that from?
No, where are you getting that they're
Historical
bilingual from?
reference.
Here, I have a quote
It's
right
not.
here. Do you care if I read a quote from a scholar?
Is it pertaining to the New Testament?
It's pertaining to the culture the New Testament was written in.
Okay, is it pertaining to the New Testament? Yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Most Palestinian Jews of the first century were bilingual.
That has nothing to do what we just said. Has nothing to do with the New Testament. You cannot prove that these people were bilingual, trilingual. You can't prove that what any of these people spoke. You can't prove that these people actually existed. The only thing that we can prove is what language it was written in. And what we also can prove is that these people are anonymous. And what we also can prove that no author of the New Testament actually met him. You can't prove that Matthew was bilingual. You can't prove that John was bilingual. You can't prove that Paul was bilingual. You can't prove these things. You're telling me about a bunch of shit that does not fucking matter.
Matthew would have been a tax collector, right?
Okay, Matthew. We're going to stick with Matthew. Matthew never met Jesus.
So Matthew
never met Jesus.
Would Matthew have been a tax collector?
Never met Jesus. Let's talk about the book of Matthew.
Let's
talk
do
about
it.
Matthew.
Let's
talk about
what's the
Matthew.
earliest source we have that
Apostle,
Matthew wrote it?
Listen, the earliest source that we have of Matthew, of the book of Matthew, is 80 AD. The Apostle Matthew allegedly died in 68 AD. That's number one. So he wouldn't even have been alive during that time.
Wait.
Now let's get to the scholarship.
Wait. You said some claims.
Listen.
Let's back up.
No, my claim is no, you cannot back up the claim of Matthew. And the reason why nobody can back up the claim of Matthew is because, number one, we cannot prove that Matthew actually ever existed. We have no birth records for him. We have no body for him. We also know that no Middle Eastern man was named Matthew. We know that the book of Matthew was named at the Council of Nicaea. Now let's get to the scholarship of the book of Matthew. It is a near universal position of scholarship that the Gospel of Matthew is dependent upon the Gospel of Mark. This position is accepted whether one subscribes to the dominant two-source hypothesis or instead prefers the Ferrier-Golder hypothesis. It is also the consensus position that the evangelist was not the Apostle Matthew. Such an idea is based on the second century statements of Papias and Irenaeus, as quoted by Eusebius. No, it's Papias, or however you want to pronounce it, because number one, we're not
listen. We have unanimous.
Listen. You're not speaking in their native language. So both of us are actually saying his name incorrect. So it really doesn't fucking matter. And stop fucking interrupting me before I drop you, right? As quoted by Eusebius, Papias states, Matthew put together the oracles of the Lord in the Hebrew language, and each one interpreted them as best he could. Uranius says Matthew also issued a written gospel among the Hebrews in their own dialect, while Peter and Paul were preaching at Rome and laying the foundations of the church. We note that Irenaeus had read Papias, and it is most likely that Irenaeus was guided by the statements he found there. That statement in Papias itself is considered to be unfounded because the Gospels of Matthew was written in Greek and relied largely upon the book of Mark. So Matthew, we can completely dismiss him from this conversation, right?
Why?
You're not listening to what the fuck I just read to you?
You just rattled off.
You're not listening?
Fighting the mute button.
You just rattled off people that said
right. What they said. Well, listen, I'm going to read it to you again, Saucy Nuts, because I know that your brain is still in the sauce. So I'm going to read it to you again. So Saucy Nuts, shut the fuck up. It is a near universal position of scholarship that the Gospel of Matthew is dependent upon the Gospel of Mark. This position is accepted whether one subscribes to the dominant two source hypothesis or instead prefers the Ferrier-Golder hypothesis. It is also the consensus position that the evangelist was not the apostle Matthew. Such an idea is based upon the second century statements of Papias and Irenaeus as quoted by Eusebius. Papias states Matthew put together the oracles of the Lord in the Hebrew language, and each one interpreted them best as he could. Irenaeus says Matthew also issued a written gospel among the Hebrews in their own dialect, while Peter and Paul were preaching at Rome and laying the foundations of the church. We know that Irenaeus had read Papias. It is most likely that Irenaeus was guided by the statement he found there. That statement in Papias itself is considered to be unfounded because the Gospel of Matthew was written in Greek and relied largely upon Mark, not the author's first-hand experience.
It's okay.
These
God
are
don't
the
like
words of Papias, Irenaeus, and Eusebius, and they're contradicting themselves if you're really listening to what I'm saying. Does that make sense to you?
Are you cool if I talk now?
No, I'm asking you a fucking question. I'm not cool if you talk.
Is it okay if I talk now?
No. Listen to me.
Okay, go ahead.
I said
and
you
berate me
asked the
some
question.
more.
You asked the question. I'm telling you no. It's not okay if you talk. I'm asking you something, and what you're doing is illustrating the fact that no matter what I say, you're not listening. So guess what, Saucy?
Boot me, buddy.
Fuck you. I ain't booting you. I'm gonna play with you. I can't debate you because you're not listening. You don't listen to what I said. I just proved to you that the Gospel of Matthew is bogus. I just proved to you.
Stop
Now,
muting.
This is
anyway, I'm just gonna
ridiculous.
talk to somebody else. Jazzy, let me get your age and religion.
Bro, just say your
And what was the other thing I was supposed to say?
Bro, just be
Your age
quiet.
and your religion.
Oh, my religion. I am currently deconstructing Christian.
Please
How
don't
old are
talk. He's a moron.
Yeah, you're right for letting you sit here.
Yeah, the only
I
moron
ain't the one who
there
dropped you.
was not the host. Just saying.
I didn't drop you. They did.
He was a
I was
fool.
gonna sit there and
Like,
keep muting you.
how are you mad that you couldn't talk while the host was talking? While you should have been actively listening, you were mad that he didn't let you talk while he was talking.
If you notice that while the host was talking, I was muted. It's called when one person is speaking, other people should be quiet so everybody can hear and understand. When we talk over each other, nobody can be understood.
That's because they have a
Well, I
lack of
was reading.
impulse control.
While I
They
was
don't
reading, I had to keep
want
muting them
to. They
too.
don't want to listen to understand or learn something. They want to listen to so they can respond.
So how are you, Jazzy?
Hey, sorry, what was that?
How
What'd you
old are
say?
you?
36.
Okay. Bible fact: not a single author of the New Testament ever met Jesus.
I mean, I feel like that's a fact. Well, I mean, I don't know. So the way I feel about things now are that I feel like Jesus probably existed, right? But I feel like he was probably more of like a prophet, or
You think he existed?
I mean, there are a lot of documentation saying that a person or someone named Jesus that was like a prophet existed.
Yeah, sure. What sources?
And which Jesus?
That too.
Right. It's a common name.
Right, yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
Jesus.
Well, oh no, Yeshua actually. That's Jesus. Jesus
Yeah.
is Spanish.
Yeah, there's
but-
no
All
J
forms.
in.
But my point being is that there is no first-hand account of this type of Jesus. Take away all the mystical, magical shit. There is no first-hand account of a guy called Jesus with 12 disciples who had a little bit of a cult following who was crucified. Not a bit.
You gotta realize one thing is, every single Abrahamic faith strives off of their quote unquote persecution.
Yeah.
There is not a single Abrahamic faith that does not claim to have been persecuted in the pursuit of their beliefs. Judaism, the persecution was Egyptians. Christianity, it was the Romans. And in Islam, it was the local members of the tribe.
Mm-hmm. But if you want to go actually historical, it was the Babylonians against the Jews. But
isn't it well
Like I said, it's based on
documented?
what the Bible says.
Pete, hold on, you haven't been introduced yet.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm 34.
Religion.
What's your belief?
Religion. I am a Jesus follower, but I don't follow any indoctrination of a religion.
Have you read the Bible?
That's exactly what you do.
Hold on. Have you read the Bible? Have you read the Bible, T?
I'm learning the Bible. I haven't directly learned. I read the Bible, but I'm learning about the historical.
Wait.
Jesus.
Hold up. I'm confused. How are you learning the Bible if you haven't read it?
So I'm reading it by reading the scholars or listening to the scholars talk about the Bible.
No.
What do you mean no? Okay, hold on.
Never listen. Wait a minute. No. Never do that. Never take a person's advice on something that you can read yourself. It don't matter what I say. It don't matter what nobody say. It don't matter what they say. It's a book. You can just read it yourself. Nobody, unless you think that a person
I get that.
can read the language better than you, then there's no point in you doing that. Don't do that.
Okay, well, I'm reading on the historical Jesus. That's what I'm doing.
Well, there is no historical Jesus.
There's multiple historical Jesuses, but there's no one single individual Jesus that did all the things.
But wouldn't you agree that all the scholars, well, not all the scholars, but majority of the New Testament scholars agree that there was a Jesus? There's a consensus on that.
Actually, believe it or not, within the last 10 to 20 years, hold on. Within the last 10 to 20 years, people have actually been re-examining the so-called evidence we have of Jesus, and mythicism, which is the belief that Jesus himself never existed, is actually growing in popularity. Because people are realizing, hey, we actually don't have a lot of this fucker.
All right. Well, I think there's a pretty good consensus that he did exist. I mean, there are historians that also wrote about him, like the Jewish historians. Josephus. I don't know how to say it.
Josephus.
Well, hold on, let's deconstruct all that. So Josephus wasn't born yet.
Josephus never met him. Josephus never met him. And he wasn't alive during his time. So.
But you know what's crazy about that? Hold on, Pete. You know what's crazy about that?
Hold on. Let her answer.
I was gonna say, back then it was a lot of oral traditions. It wasn't common to write things down. So of course we're not gonna have.
Okay, so T. So wait a minute. Let me talk to her. So T. So how are you a historian? Right? And writing about somebody, and how are you like calling them like, okay, well, this person wrote about him, right? And we're telling you that he wasn't even alive during his time. You're like, oh, well, it was oral tradition. So is he a historian that spoke about Jesus and knew about him or no?
You would do oral
Your background's
traditions.
really
There
loud,
was
love.
groups where they would keep the oral traditions
Everybody
alive,
mute.
and those
Everybody
stories
mute.
get brought down
Everybody mute.
into
Everybody
the
mute.
TV.
It's too many people talking. Too much loud shit in the background. That shit pissing me off. Answer T.
Oh, like I was saying, yeah. Well, back then in little communities, they would keep the oral traditions alive, and the people, even though the historian didn't write about it when Jesus was alive and when he saw Jesus, those traditions get brought down
Okay,
into
so
generations, and then they write
okay,
about
so
it.
we can dismiss Josephus, right? He's not a historian that knew anything about Jesus. He just heard a bunch of stories and he wrote some shit down, right?
T, I have a question for T.
Sure.
Let her answer.
Okay. Answer her
I
host
mean,
first.
well, like I said, I believe in the oral traditions. That's how they come. That's how they wrote
But
their
listen.
history.
Who is the source of the oral traditions? You're talking about Josephus, right? And
I'm
he
talking about the
wasn't the one.
communities.
But what community? Where did he get it from? He never met him. He never seen him. He was not alive during his time. So now
I
you're
get
going
that.
to the oral traditions. The oral traditions. Who is the oral traditions? You don't know who mouth it came out of. Who?
Exactly, but how can you possibly know that? That's ancient times. But we do know that there was oral traditions where in
So
communities.
listen, if you don't know the shit, why do you believe it when there's no real proof? You're telling
Because
me
it
out
makes
of your own
sense.
mouth that it's not provable.
Because it can't be
So
provable. Because they didn't write things down like
listen. All right.
that.
So let me ask you a question. So this story makes sense to you that somebody died for. Okay. So God created the devil. God created Jesus, right? Jesus died for our sins on a Friday, right? And then came back for our sins, right? Then came back to life 3 days later on a Sunday, right? And somebody who never met him in his life, that wasn't alive till 50, 60 years later, wrote about him, makes sense to you.
Nope, that doesn't make sense to me because I'm not claiming that. I'm claiming about the historical Jesus did exist.
What
I'm not claiming that he
historical
was
Jesus?
resurrected.
What point in
Jesus
history
that
can
was
you
preaching, the
prove?
prophet.
Okay, what point in
I'm
history
talking
can you
about the
prove? What can
prophet
you
Jesus.
prove? Where in
I
history can you prove that?
wasn't there, so I can't prove it. I could only
Josephus
listen to
can't
the
prove
history.
that. Josephus can't prove that. Do you got anybody else?
So you're telling me that the historians, where'd they get their information from then? From just what they're living, or are they
Exactly.
listening to the oral
Any
tradition?
listen, it depends on what historian we're talking about. And it depends on what subject we're talking about and what person we're talking about.
And the ancient times that we're talking about, and how there was no people didn't
Okay, what
really write back then.
ancient time? What ancient time? You have to
We're talking about the
pinpoint. You
first
can't just
century,
say
the second century.
you're throwing boogers up on the wall. Which one do you want to stick?
I'm talking about when we're talking about the historical Jesus and the historians who talked
The
about him.
historical Jesus, we have no proof to it. So I'm asking you what it is, and now you're like, oh well, what historians do we have? Blah 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 blah. I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I
She's
named
talking
one.
about historic shit.
My question for her was about the game telephone. Are you familiar with the game telephone, T?
I know. I also am familiar with the fish story, where the fish gets bigger and bigger as the story gets told.
If you want to talk about history, the
You
Dead Sea Scrolls
understand
have
the
symbols that call him
embellishment.
Yahweh. Or
So
I get the embellishment.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. In Islam, and this is not in religion. This is me just giving you an example of evidence. In Islam, they search for actual evidence of people who actually existed at the time something was said. And if that person had no way to have been able to been in their lives, meaning it wasn't their generation, their kids' generation, or their grandkids, they don't accept it. So there's proof that there is written evidence on things and that it is easy to be able to trace back because Islam is 1500 years old and they're still able to trace back who said what. So written tradition did exist. In fact, cuneiform existed before Christianity did.
well, in the Catholic Encyclopedia, it says that Constantine in 325 A.D. Council of Nicaea, he ordered all this religious scrolls to be brought to him, like over 2,000. At one point, they had it narrowed down to like 53 deities. Constantine decided he wanted to combine the Eastern religion with the Western religion because he wanted to control the whole entire planet. So he took a British divine deity named like JES or something like that, and then he combined it with the Eastern savior god Krishna, and with a vote of 161 to 157, it was approved. So that's where Jesus Christ came from. Or some people think because it was written by Greeks, it comes from Zeus or Zeus.
Here's also something to point out about Josephus. Josephus, like we said, wasn't born yet, so there's no way he'd have first-hand knowledge. He was just recording what other people were telling him, which is not reliable at all. But funny thing is, his father would have been alive during the time of Jesus, and he was also a Jewish historian. So he was a Jewish historian who would have been in the exact place at the exact time that Jesus would have been, and yet he wrote not a single word about the man.
Not a word.
All right, well, hold on. So back to the prompt. Not a single author of the New Testament ever met Jesus. What about the letters of Paul? I'm not saying he said that he met him, right? But wait, listen, hold on.
Well, listen. Wait a minute, stop right there. No, stop.
But I wasn't done.
You got no. You are done. Listen, you just stopped yourself. You just sat here and said, all right, what about the letters of Paul? I'm not saying he said he ever met him. The backdrop says not a single author of the New Testament ever met Jesus. That's what the conversation is about.
But Paul said that he saw Jesus risen, come to him after he was risen from the dead. He did say that.
Okay, he did say that, right? Okay, he said that, right?
Right?
Who was there to verify it?
No one. But look, listen to this. Paul was a Pharisee. What made him convert to Christianity?
And people
Money?
like you? And people like you?
People like me.
Money was.
What do you mean people like me? You don't know.
Let's just put it this way.
Listen. Let me finish answer her. You're like, what do I mean? People like you. People like you, that's going to believe it. You know good and well he never met this man while he was alive. He wrote all these fabulous stories about him. Nobody was there to verify, right? So when I say people like you, people exactly like you.
I'm not saying you don't know. No. I'm learning, so I'm taking my critical thinking skills and I'm trying to figure this out. Right? I'm learning about Jesus.
Critically thinking, Jesus was already dead. Jesus was already dead. Dead and gone.
But he would have been alive by the time when Jesus was alive. Paul.
Critically thinking.
Listen, T. He said the first time he met him was on the road to Damascus after Jesus was already dead and gone. That's what Paul said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I wanted to say something. So here's the thing. In war, when a direct approach is proven to be difficult, do you continue with the direct approach, or do you attack from behind enemy lines?
I can't answer that. I have no idea.
Okay, so it's called when you cannot get a direct approach, you go from a side approach. You find a different way around. So all Paul did was like, I can't get y'all to turn away from your faith. So instead, I'm just gonna lie to you and make you lose your faith, because he basically went in and said none of this is required anymore. All he did was tell you could do things so that you would fail. He couldn't destroy their faith, so he lied to them instead. It's an indirect approach. Since he couldn't get them with a direct attack, he used an indirect one.
Well, you
That's
have to
what that
realize
was.
that you only know what they want you to know. You think they would ever let you know the truth about like our like to be saved and like to take over? Like it's all about power and money and control in the church. Like they would never tell us the truth. Whatever Paul's saying, the translators, if they translated it the way the king or whatever didn't want to translate it, the king would just change it. You know what I mean? Like you got to admit that these books were changed a lot.
Right, but the earliest we have is Paul. So what you're saying by this logic that Jesus didn't exist, that Paul made everything up?
Shit that would contradict the king's power or the king's wealth or whatever. Like if Paul said some shit that would take away from his power and reign, like they would change it. You know what I mean? And then they would.
But Paul was a Pharisee. Why would he do that? Why would he?
No, these books are man-made.
Because listen, T, I'm gonna give you a comparison to real life. I'm gonna give you a comparison. Wait a minute. Stop. Wait, stop. I'm gonna give you a real life comparison, right? Okay, so Have you ever met Hebrew Israelites before?
Have I met them? No.
Huh?
Wait, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
Okay. So they're a particular branch of New Christianity. They're a particular branch of New Christianity. They're black supremacists. They're kind of like racist, but that's besides the point, right? My point of bringing them up is that's a religion that was created in the 1800s by basically sharecroppers, black people that used to be slaves, right? And it would be for the same exact reason, right? It's because everybody wants to be a fucking big shot. Everybody wants to be at the top of the food chain. Everybody wants to be revered. Everybody wants to be that one. Everybody wants to be that ninja. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be the plug to go to God. Everybody wants to be supreme. Everybody wants to be that guy. Why wouldn't he do this shit if people gonna believe it?
Yeah, he has a lot of truth there. The guy that studied and translated the Dead Sea Scrolls, his whole life was dedicated to it. When he retired and he was older, he was firmly convinced. He's publicly stated that he thinks the entire thing was a mushroom trip.
And they always got the same story, Duff. It's always, oh, God came to me. Oh, God came to me in a dream, and there was never no fucking body there.
Also, we're not actually entirely even sure that Paul actually existed either.
May I?
So who's making all this up then? If Paul didn't exist, Jesus didn't exist, God didn't exist.
The Roman Empire, and then the church.
The people that want to remain in power.
May I?
Like, this is ancient Israel. You think there's an Adam and Eve and Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and like these are all like English names.
But the letters of well, Paul definitely existed because his is the only autobiography of the Testament. So you could hear.
It's not an autobiography.
Paul. Yeah, it is. It's basically an autobiography. He speaks about himself and he talks about his education.
Paul makes shit up on a guy he never met. He doesn't even talk about himself. He talks about shit that he talks about Jesus most of the time. That's not an autobiography.
Well, he was more focused on the death and resurrection of Jesus. He didn't really talk about Jesus.
He never met him, though. He never met him.
May I please?
Tyrant, you haven't been introduced yet. You can be patient and wait.
All right, you could go ahead. You could go ahead with it.
At the end of the day, the most suspicious thing to me is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And Paul, and I love what the host said about Paul. I love that. I was going to touch on that, but the host kind of got it for me. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the most suspicious to me. And here's where it goes, right? So there's 4 gospels that almost line up directly. They don't, though. They don't quite line up directly. And if you go read them back to back to back to back to back, you will figure out that they don't quite line up correctly. And the reason for this is that 3 separate tribes in the area were speaking the word because it was not on paper yet. And a 4th tertiary tribe evolved at the end, giving you 4 different accounts of the same quote unquote version of the story that were spoken from grandfather to grandchild, from grandfather to grandchild for years and years and years and years until it was put on paper. Yes, they're very, very, very similar, but they're not the same story. And the reason is a lot gets lost in the game of telephone, period. So, first of all, your book is the game of telephone, and it's false to begin with. Secondly, the King James Version showed you that a king took out and added in things that he wanted to take out and added in, and now we don't know what's the truth, because it's been so bastardized from the time that whatever fact happened, that we don't know what the truth is, period.
Yeah.
I'm
not entirely unconvinced that Christianity wasn't completely invented by Rome.
I feel one way or the other it was. However you look at it.
Well, the Christianity story is it's exactly just like the Hare Krishna. It's exactly like a guy named Mithra.
This is Phrygia.
Even the pyramids. Have you ever heard of these stories?
Yep.
Hare Krishna. There was also a version.
Ra, Osiris, Horus, Mithras, Attica, Phrygia, Krishna, Ganesha.
Yeah, quite a few.
Balder. We got Balder. Don't forget Balder.
Yeah, Krishna's mom was named Mary. She was a virgin. Christ's mom was Mary, named a virgin.
Yeah. Dionysus. Yep, Dionysus is another one. Yeah, nothing in Christianity is original. Not a thread of it.
Nothing. Except for drinking the blood and eating them crackers.
Well, that's just blood magic. That was also in the Old Testament, so they stole that from Jews.
You know what, TCG, you are fighting really hard. I want you to come up and get in a box and talk to me.
Or is he just a comment warrior, a coward behind the keyboard?
I invited
Listen
him.
to me.
He
So
won't come up.
the only point I'm trying to make is, okay, so if Jesus was born approximately 30 years BC, what are the chances that any written word 30 years prior to him passing would be recoverable when mass-produced writings were available? So we're talking printing press, things like that. There's almost a nil chance. So a lot of these stories have been spoken stories. Yes, I've heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and I understand.
I want to know what TCG thinks are in the Dead Sea Scrolls, because I want to laugh if he thinks.
But we're still seeing misinterpretations of different languages because the language was different 2,000 years ago. If you were to get in a time
Do
machine,
you want to come up,
go
TCG?
back- if you were to go back to
Howard in the comments. We already know this.
Just real quick, everybody. If we were to go back 2,000 years to, let's say, England, do you think they would speak the way we speak? Do you think you would be able to discern anything?
Oh, I already know what Old English sounds like. And Old English isn't even 2,000 years ago. It's only a couple hundred years ago. You couldn't understand a damn thing.
I rest my case.
I've actually listened to Old English poetry. I have no idea what they're saying, but it's very
I
beautiful.
rest my case. So I've got two arguments here. I've got one, spoken word until printing press was available, and two, the language is not even the same as it used to be. It was.
Oh yeah, and not just King James. A bunch of kings and clergy altered the damn thing.
So your book is no more fact than Harry Potter. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that for you. I'm sorry.
I'll say, no, Tyrant. Harry Potter's more realistic. They actually have the King's Cross Station in real life.
And the Dead Sea Scrolls at best are just fragments of pieces of
older
paper.
copies, yeah.
Right. And you're not even taking in consideration when they found those fucking pieces of ripped up pieces of fucking paper. 1947.
TCG, there's an open box. Come on, get up here, talk to us.
Didn't some parts of the Dead Sea Scrolls get like crumbled into paper because people were so interested in touching them and like examining them that they just
They
fucking
always
ruined them?
were. They all listen. When a person says Dead Sea Scrolls, that is the biggest exaggeration. That's like your front yard being compared to like 4 football fields.
But like I'm talking about
Because
some pieces of the Dead Sea Scrolls crumbled. Like they don't actually, they're actually
they
not lead.
always were. Listen. They always were just fragments, like fragments of paper. And like what they did to them was they tried to put tape them together and just fuck them up even more. They're just a piece. They're garbage.
I love that they like. I don't know if it was actually tape, but if it was actually just like masking tape,
It was actual tape. It was actual tape described verbatim as adhesive.
What in the like super spy kind of I'm gonna piece this puzzle together bullshit is this? God damn.
Right.
The funny thing is,
they found him in like a bunch of clay pots and shit.
I bet you he doesn't even follow the teachings of Jesus. Probably doesn't know much about Jesus because Jesus was crucified for going against all the things that are in that book.
Right.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing, and this is going to be my third and final argument. Jesus never asked anyone to create a following, a religion. Buddha never asked anyone to create a religion. Muhammad never asked anyone to create a religion. Humanity did that shit.
Also, I got an idea.
Take their teachings and you can teach other people their teachings, but creating a whole freaking indoctrinated community, that's not what they asked for.
I have an idea. If TCG wants to mouth off so bad, let's mute him in the comments. And if he comes up, he's not a coward. If he leaves when he's muted, he's a fucking coward. Let's try that. Let's make him go quiet in the comments, because then he can only actually talk if he's up here.
Well, have a good night. They're leaving now.
I didn't even have to mute. Like, people didn't have to mute him. He's already running.
Hey, bye, bitch.
Serious question I want to learn. You said earlier that it didn't. The Gospels didn't line up with the timelines or whatever, or whatever. That's why they were taken out. What timelines? Who created the timeline?
You talking about the Council of Nicaea?
Yeah, you were
saying
saying
that was more of like their. I think that's more of like their excuse. But what they were saying was based like the books they picked them based on the dating range.
Yeah, like when they found the Codex Sinaiticus or whatever is written on donkey skins.
It was just like, we don't like these, so throw them out.
Yeah, it contradicted everything the church already had out, so they said it was.
They sure as fuck were going to include the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. I'll tell you that one.
Yeah, Mary Magdalene is pretty cool.
Yeah, but they weren't going to include it because it was written purportedly by a woman.
Yeah, it's kind of convenient. They took all the books out that says you don't need the church.
Yeah, weird.
Like you could.
I feel like just a winky dink.
What is the Gospel of Philip? That's pretty badass too.
Yeah. Also, I love how TCG immediately fucking dipped when I threatened to mute him in the comments because he's that much of a fucking coward. We didn't even have to mute him. I just have to threaten. Man, I love Trader Joe's. Do you know Trader Joe's has a thing called apple chips? They're fucking delicious.
But I did kind of start like believing, getting in the Bible, and I don't know if I'm reading it right now, but I think I'm reading it right, like through parables and stuff.
The Bible.
Like all the stories in there are outrageous.
Yeah, the Bible kind of sucks no matter how you slice it.
But if you read it like a parable, like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, even then, the parables are still kind of horrific. Good day.
Like the parable of Exodus, Moses, like the parable, like Moses never existed. Like the Egyptians were the greatest record keepers of all time. They documented everything. There's not one mention of them, like 450,000 Jews, slaves leaving and roaming the desert. There's not one thing written down where Ramses got drowned under the sea.
We know exactly how Ramses 1 and 2 died.
Yeah, Ramses is comfortably in a tomb, right?
Like, it was definitely a reaction to the Babylonian exile, but they couldn't use Babylon because they had to kind of speak in code, so they used Egypt.
Take off with it,
I kind of think there was never a Moses. I think the entire Exodus story is about true baptism.
Oh yeah, no, that's not true. The entire Exodus story is a reaction to just Babylon exile, but yeah, the Exodus never fucking happened. Not even a smidgen of it. Not even a small little corner of it.
And the motion.
About that. They always point to the wheel. They found a chariot wheel.
Hey, think about it. If the ocean opened up and there's like a couple feet of mud there, you think they're riding their chariots in the mud?
Such a magnificent event. A chariot.
Here's a fun fact. How do you think they traded and transported chariots? On boats, perhaps?
Right. And that's what I tell them. Like, if we can find, there's some movies where a car goes into the ocean, right? So just because by that logic, you go into the ocean and you find a car anywhere, it proves whatever that movie was talking about. It's just like it's pretty ridiculous. I don't think they think past the evidence that's presented to them.
Oh, TCG is back. Come on up, coward, or we'll meet you in the comments. TCG, come on up, or we'll meet you in the comments, coward. Bok, 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 bok. But yeah, no, the chariot wheel's so stupid. And Ron Wyatt, that man has been unalive since the 90s. Can we stop fucking talking about him? Like, goddamn, he sucks. And I don't care if I'm saying that about a dead man. He sucks.
The registered nurse archaeologist.
He was an anesthesiologist, not even like that great of a nurse.
Like, not that
He passed in
beat a
the
dead horse with
80s?
the Jesus
Fuck me,
thing.
never mind. He died in the 80s. Fucking hell.
We don't know anything about Jesus. We don't know his birthday. We don't know. They don't talk. We don't know a whole lot of facts about Jesus.
We don't know anything about him because he didn't
you
exist.
have baby ears. Bye. Bye.
Like, he disappears from the Bible at age 6 and doesn't reappear until like 32.
Where the fuck was he? I know he was unaliving kids.
Yeah, the Gospel of the Holy 12 or the Sinai Bible, it says he went to Egypt and then he went to Tibet.
No, I
he
think he
went
was
to
just like going around,
Egypt.
fucking around like Superman, trying to figure out how to control his powers.
He
Oops,
was
I just
outside of time and
unalived a
space.
child.
Well, other religions say they describe a man from the West wearing a robe, and they describe Jesus. And supposedly he went to
I was
Egypt.
gonna say,
to learn
Rowdy,
the
I don't
intricacies
think
of
he
Egyptians.
unalived that long ago. I'm pretty sure it was in the 90s.
And
But
then he went to Tibet to learn Reiki healing with his hands. That's confirmed by the
I
Dalai
wonder.
Lama. And then he went to.
I think that's
He was
a
a
little bit more.
walking motherfucker.
I wonder the people that say like bye and all that stuff. I wonder if they were gonna throw you a uni or something like maybe we'd miss you if you were throwing a uni, but since you're not throwing any gifts and you're not even liking the live, we don't care if you leave. Just leave. You don't have to announce it. Thank you.
Also, shall we mute TCG again until he comes up and stops being a coward? Yeah, I was gonna say, right. I thought he died in the late 90s. I didn't think it was the 80s. So yeah. But like, yeah, this man died like in the 90s. Can we just let him rest in fucking pieces? Because you know he's in pieces now.
I never heard him until about 3 years ago.
He's so bad. Like, apparently there's a video of him so-called finding this DNA sample of Jesus. And what does he do? Not use gloves,
Thank you, V.
not use a mask, and then cough on the fucking artifact. Like, all the things.
I don't know why I'm so sleepy today.
Because it's Sunday. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. I had a question actually.
Yep.
For you, what do you believe in?
Me? My beliefs are irrelevant. Why are you wondering?
Well, what do you mean? Because this is a discussion. I'm wondering.
I'm a Celtic pagan.
What does that mean? I know
I-
pagan, but what's Celtic?
That's a people group.
A people group?
Yeah.
That's okay. I still don't know what you believe then.
I'm polytheistic.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yep.
Multiple gods.
Yep.
So a god of the sun, a god of the ocean?
Yep.
Wow, that's very ancient of you.
I mean, thanks.
No, I'm just curious.
I mean,
So not one god, just a bunch?
I mean, yeah, arguably all of my gods are better than the Christian God, and I will stand by that firmly.
Oh, believe what you want to believe, that's fine. So how was
I
the
mean-
universe created? One universe
I don't
god?
know. No, I don't know. The Celts never went back that far, and we don't actually care. We know how people
So how
are
do you
created.
live?
Huh?
How do you live? Morals, no morals?
Do you think that Christianity invented morals?
I didn't say that. I'm asking about you.
Yeah, well, the Celts actually had a very, very nice law system called Breccian law. I know I'm probably pronouncing it wrong because it was like in literal like old English type shit, but it's currently called Breccian law, where it actually allowed women to have a lot more power in society than in other nations, which is one of the reasons I enjoy Celtic paganism so much, is because women and men are treated more or less as equals. Not perfectly, obviously. They still had their things, but they were one of the more progressive societies in the world during their time. So,
Okay. So do you believe that gods come and mingle with the humans?
they can if they want to, but
So can a man be divine? Or a
we
demigod?
do have demigods. Yeah, we have Cuchulainn and Fionn McCool and a couple others.
Interesting. I haven't heard anyone recently say that they're.
Oh, well, there's a reason for that, actually. A very interesting reason. Y'all tried to kill us.
Y'all, stop saying y'all. I'm not Christian.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're a Jesus follower. You can call yourself a follower of Christ, a brother of Christ, a lover of Christ. You're a Christian.
But I'm not. But I'm not following the Bible. I actually believe way differently than what Christianity believes.
You're following Jesus, and Jesus only appears in the Bible.
Right, but I'm not listening to that Jesus. I'm listening to the historical Jesus and his wiseness. And I actually think he's misinterpreted. I don't think the Christianity got it right, what he's saying.
Well, then how are you supposed to know his personality? Well, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. How are you supposed to... I need to ask this, Reggie. How are you supposed to know Jesus' personality if you're ignoring the only book he appears in?
Because I don't think... Because, like, everyone is speaking here that those books aren't accurate.
Yeah, but, like, how do you know his personality if you can't trust that book?
I don't know his personality. I listen to his wise words and I interpret it differently.
His wise words from
the red letters in the Bible. The whole
So T-Dub, you said that you like to follow his wise words and he gets misinterpreted, right?
Right.
The man said, I only came for the lost sheep of Israel. How is that misinterpreted?
He was, I mean, he was a profound, devoted Jew. I mean, I get that. But then he also did it in his own way, where he preached love.
No. I'm not talking about that. You can preach love all you want. But when you tell people that you only came for one group of people, and that group of people does not include you, I don't see why you worship him.
I mean, worship is a little strong. I think he's misinterpreted.
So, okay, well, I'm going to give you a scenario, right? So a woman comes up to him and asks him, right? Okay, I need you to help me, son of David, because my daughter has a demon in her. And I respond back to her, no, I only came for the lost sheep of Israel. And then the lady says to me, son of David, please help me. And I tell her, no, you dog, I only came for the lost sheep of Israel. Then the woman tells me, yes, I am a dog, but even a dog gets the scraps from under the table. Explain to me. Hold on, no. Explain to me, how is that being taken out of context when he's telling you verbatim, repeatedly, that he only came for one group of people?
Because I don't believe he said that. That's why.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. Now, he said it in two different circumstances, exactly what I'm telling you. Now, when I show you that he said this, and I'm gonna also show you that these stories contradict yourself, right? Contradict each other, right? What are you gonna say? Because he said exactly what I just told you.
I'm gonna say that, aren't we arguing here that we don't actually know what he said?
I want you to address exactly what he said. This is red letter. You can't try to say he didn't say it. Oh, we don't know what he said, because by that same logic, you don't know existed. Because this book and this person that I'm going to read from, right? This is going to be Mark or Matthew, depending on which one you want to read, right? Without these two books, you don't know anything about Jesus.
I don't know. That just doesn't sound like what Jesus would say. That's not what he was preaching.
Listen. It doesn't matter. Once I read it to you, because I'm already there now. Then what?
I don't believe he'd say that. That doesn't sound like what he would say.
Listen. 24 through 30. The name of this verse is called Jesus Honors a Syrophoenician Woman's Faith. Jesus left that place and went to the vicinity of Tyre. He entered a house and did not want anyone to know it, yet he could not keep his presence secret. In fact, as soon as she heard about him, a woman whose daughter was possessed by an impure spirit came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, born in Syrian Phoenicia. She begged Jesus to drive the demon out of her daughter. First, let the children eat all they want, he told her, for it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Lord, she replied, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. Then he told her, for such a reply, you may go. The demon has left your daughter.
Right.
Did he call her a dog or did he not? Did he tell her, I only came for the lost sheep of Israel, or not?
I don't want to believe that he said that. That doesn't sound right. That don't sound
Okay,
like
so
no.
let's go to a contradictory story in Matthew. Now remember, this story is about a Syrian Phoenician woman that's Greek. I don't even know how the fuck you can be Syrian Phoenician and Greek at the same time, but that's a whole nother fucking topic.
Also, I want to point out in the comments while you're doing this, TCG, do not try to tell me about my own fucking religion, honey bunchy boat. Like, the Druids were advisors to kings and tribe leaders, but that wasn't their only fucking job, TCG. Before you open your mouth, maybe you should actually do some real research.
See the faith of a Canaanite woman, which son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is a word, so he's ignoring her. So his disciples came to him and urged him, send her away, for she keeps crying after us. He answered, I was only sent for the lost sheep of Israel. The woman came and knelt before him. Lord, help me, she said. He replied, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Yes, it is, Lord, she said. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fell from their master's table. Then Jesus said to her, woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. He's doing it again. He's calling her a dog, which is a racial slur for anyone who is not an Israelite. And he's also telling her verbatim, I only came for the lost sheep of Israel. That's just like me telling you right now, T, shut the fuck up because I only came here for my niggas. Am I being racist? Yes or no? When you're clearly white.
Oh, what? Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
So how the fuck is he not being racist?
Right, but the Gospels are hyperbolic. They're not all. Oh my goodness. They're exaggerated. This story may have not happened.
It didn't happen. We know that. But what I'm telling you is this motherfucker's not all that, and he don't give a fuck unless you're a Jewish person. He don't give a fuck.
Right, so that story didn't happen.
What about what about
you fake? T,
what about the resurrection of Christ? Was that hyperbolic? Like, how do we tell which is hyperbolic and which isn't?
Exactly, we don't know. We don't know if the resurrection happened. We have people who said they saw him, right? Like Paul. So, I'm still learning. I never said I was a devout Christian or anything.
Yeah, you're cherry picking. That's what you're doing.
You know why I think there's a resurrection in every religion?
I'm trying to get to the historical Jesus. That's what I'm trying to do.
There's a resurrection in every religion almost because December 21st is the first day of Holy Week. On December 21st, the sun in the sky, they're all called sun gods. The sun in the sky enters a constellation called the cross. It is crucified on the December 21st, and it's the shortest day of the year. It's the longest day of darkness. There's more darkness that day than any other day. December 22nd, 23rd, or 24th, is the winter solstice. And the sun is in the tomb of the earth for 3 days and 3 nights. And on December 25th, it is reborn and it comes back up. That's why Christmas, that's why every god is a sun god. Ra, Horus, and even Zeus and Jesus were the same guy. Zeus was born to Reg. The king Coronis tried to kill the child because he was afraid he would try to overthrow the kingdom. The child, Zeus, was taken away to escape the king. Zeus, born to Mary, King Harold tried to kill him. No, Jesus. Tried to kill him because he was afraid he would overthrow the kingdom. Same story. And then Zeus rode a white horse called Pegasus. Jesus will return in Revelations on a white horse. The story of Zeus was written 1900 years before Jesus. Okay, now Zeus throws lightning bolts. Matthew 24:27. For as the lightning came from the east and flashes to the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Me, and he'll ride on a white horse. It's like the same shit. White horse, lightning bolt. Bad king, try to kill him. You guys think it's weird? They're all similar stories with different names.
It's really strange.
Right. Crazy. Drop a fly, turtle dove.
It's crazy because all these religions are like thousands and thousands of years apart, and they didn't have cell phones or computers or like newspapers. Like they didn't know what's going on the other side of the ocean. Like I think something might have unlocked them, or it's written in the stars. I mean, how do they all know the same similar stories? Somebody gave that to them, right?
The remix, baby. That's all it is.
They're just
Like
repeating.
how the Bible copy Hare Krishna, when Krishna was like 6,000 years earlier.
Because they're from close regions. And also they've been copied it because you got to think about it like this. Brahmin, who is Brahmin? That's Abraham. And who is Sarah?
Amin Ra? Are we saying?
No. I'm talking about a Hindu. Who is Brahmin?
Oh, I only know Hare Krishna and Hindu. I don't know who Ram.
That is Abraham. That's who they got that from. Christianity got his ideas from Abraham. Excuse me. I'm fucking not making no sense. Abrahamic religions got their ideas from Hinduism because Abraham is Brahmin and Sarah is, how you pronounce her name? Saraswati, or however the fuck you say her name? That's where that shit came from.
TCG, the three books. Hold on, the 3 books of Enoch in particular were left out because they were found to be pseudepigrapha. Which, by the way, pseudepigrapha means fan fiction. Dumbass.
Last night I listened to the Book of Giants. Whether you believe it or not, that's a cool book.
I mean, clearly Santa is based on Satan.
Yeah. No, they were not left out because they're written in first person. They were left out because they were fan fiction. No.
They were what?
The Book of Enoch, the 3 books of Enoch were left out because they were pseudepigrapha.
I don't know what you lot are all talking about. I just wanted to come up here and profess my Lord and Savior, Superman.
It's not
because
real.
He died in issue 331 and he resurrected from the dead in issue 337. He saved our everlasting life from doomsday. So if none of you are following Clark Kent, then I don't know what your problem is. I don't think you can be saved.
Well, then I'm saved, man. I'm good.
I like Superman.
Are you following our Lord and Savior Clark Kent?
Hold on.
Sure
TCG.
is.
TCG. YouTube. I don't use YouTube for my sources. I use this strange little new invention called books.
Are you talking to me?
No, TCG says you got your information from YouTube, and it's like, no, I got it from fucking books. I've never even watched the movie Zeitgeist. Like, people quote it and shit like that, but I've never fucking watched it. I don't care. I just know that they've actually stolen their fucking stories.
Did you guys hear about the crazy science that they're doing over in Europe?
What?
They're trying to combine the DNA of a cheetah and a crab.
Way?
But I'm concerned because that shit could go sideways real quick.
Yeah, the place is like it's actually like Jurassic Park.
Are you sure
Rowdy,
it was a cheetah?
Rowdy, hold on a second. Rowdy, was that a joke?
That can't happen.
Yeah.
No, y'all, he was joking. Shit can go sideways. Crabs run sideways.
That shit could go sideways real quick.
Get it? They run
Yeah, they're
sideways real
fast.
quick.
I thought you were talking about that like Jurassic Place over there. It was on Joe Rogan. I guess they gave birth to like 200 woolly mammoths.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking he was talking about there for a second.
Yeah.
But is that real? Like, did it really happen?
The best preserved woolly mammoth, and they got some DNA out of it, but it was missing some DNA strands. It was like wasn't complete. So they took DNA from an African elephant, which is the closest to it, and they spliced it in there, and then they made an embryo or an egg. Anyway, they put the egg inside of an African elephant. So the elephant went to full term and gave birth, and supposedly gave birth to a woolly mammoth. But I haven't seen any pictures yet, so I don't know if it's fucking true.
PCG, you keep mouthing off in the comments, but you're just being a fucking coward by not coming up and actually having a conversation.
Who is this vagabond?
Some fucking keyboard warrior who like can't put his money where his mouth is.
I could see that happening because they're like a close species, but a crab and I know he was telling a dad joke.
But you never know. You just never know today what they're doing. They're spending a lot of money on.
No, this is a warm-blooded animal and a sea creature. Like, no, that can't happen.
You know
what? Well, yep. They were talking about. I was reading. Have you guys ever? Do you guys remember the series that used to come on TV? It was called the Redacted Files. Do y'all remember that?
No.
Y'all remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
No, because I didn't watch that.
I remember that.
I mean, it's when we were younger. Before we
kind of sound like the guy from Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous.
Like I didn't watch that. Like I didn't watch films. I didn't watch like people showing off their wealth. It wasn't interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm not saying like necessarily watch it, whether you watched it or not or whatnot. What I'm saying is like there used to be a show that used to come on right after that, and it was called The Redacted Files. And I was wondering if anybody ever watched The Redacted Files. They was talking.
Nope.
In the Redacted Files, they had this whole thing. You know, our government actually paid to study dolphins to see if we could fuse some of our SEAL teams and stuff like that to be able to fuse it. And this is like ages ago when they done this. So you just never know what they might or might not do. You can look it up. I cannot think of what the name of that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know that guy that's on TV that fights the whaling ships?
They couldn't fuse us with no dolphin either because we're not the same species. Like it's a certain level of DNA that we have to share with anything that they try to fuse us together with. That's probably why, dogs and cats
we
can't.
do share DNA.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, have you ever seen that guy on TV where he fights the Chinese whaling ships with his big boat? He actually got thrown in jail for communicating with dolphins. It's illegal to try to talk to a dolphin.
Is it?
Yeah, they threw him in jail for it.
Huh. But no, we do share DNA with.
Yeah, but not enough is what BAP is saying. We don't share enough. To be able to
not enough of a strand to clone it or to use a stem cell from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought that was, kind of odd, that we actually used to put money, like our government used to actually put money into, I guess, trying to splice us with or splice.
I mean, the government spends money on stupid shit all the time. It spent $80 million on Viagra last year.
Well, we know why, but anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our government does stupid shit with our fucking money. They've always done that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why they kept the Book of Enoch out, because the Watchers were splicing our DNA. That's why they had like animal heads and human bodies and stuff.
Actually, that book.
I don't know if you're hold on. I don't know if you're joking or not. Hold on,
No.
Altair. I don't know if you're joking or not. But no, the Book of Enoch was left out because it was pseudepigrapha.
Well,
Right.
Well, the Watchers were splicing our DNA and making weird animals and like.
No,
weird
that's
shit.
not why they left it. That's
It's
not why
it's
they
either in
left
the Book
it
of
out.
Enoch or it's in the Book of Giants.
No, that's not why they left it out. They left it out because it was pseudepigrapha.
What's that mean?
And they didn't want
Fan
any of it
fiction.
to tie into They didn't want none of it to tie into any of the ancient Sumerian, because a lot of the splicing and stuff like that, they said that a lot of what the book of Enoch talks about comes out of the ancient Sumerian book.
But
Enoch's known as the man on the biblical timeline that never died.
Yeah, but again, the reason they left it out is because it was pseudepigraphy. It was fan fiction.
What kind of shoes do frogs wear?
Oh God.
Open-toed sandals.
Get out.
Miss. Oh, he is
Yes.
choking us down.
I just built an ATM that only gives out coins. I don't know why no one's thought of it before. It just makes sense.
Do you know our freaking government just outlawed round hay bales?
Boo, tomatoes.
Round hay bales, they outlawed them.
Yeah.
They're saying cows. They're saying cows can't get a square meal.
It doesn't shock me. You're not even allowed.
Enough with the dad jokes.
Humble. Let me get your age and religion.
Oh, there's Brother Reggie. Brother Reggie, I was about to just text you in your inbox, brother, to see if you have given your tithes and offering to Krypton today. Have you invested in? You haven't? Well, brother, we're gonna need to come knock at your door and stare at one another awkwardly, so that I can tell you about my Lord and Savior, Superman.
Anyway,
bro, get the Jehovah's
Humble, let me
Witness
get your
out
age
of
and
here.
religion.
I'm a Christian.
He's just as real as the other one.
Ever met Jesus.
Guys, Esther, you haven't been introduced yet. Don't talk.
Disciples have never met Jesus. That's what you're
Yeah,
claiming.
how old are you, Humble? How old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
I'm not specifically saying the disciples. I'm talking about the authors of the Bible, because not every disciple has their own book.
Right. I agree with you 100%. Just like
Yeah, explain this to me. The words written in red.
Hold on.
God's words?
Let him answer. Let him answer.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
For example, in the Old Testament, everything started
We
with
ain't talking
Abraham.
about the Old Testament. We ain't talking
Alright,
about the Old
look,
Testament.
No, I know,
matter.
but look, Abraham never wrote in the Old
No,
Testament.
I'm not
Moses
looking at
wrote-
anything. That's not gonna work with me. It's not.
Like
We're
God's
not talking
word.
about- We're not talking about the Old Testament.
God and Jesus were like Matthew, Mark, Luke. Write this down. Grab a note and paper. Write this down. Like, who the hell? Like, if you see, it's said if you see God or hear His voice, your head will explode. Like, he was actually like, write this down.
Yeah, you die. If you see him or hear his voice, you die.
Actually, no, because other people in the Bible have seen God and lived.
They seen his ass.
Oh no, they've seen his
Well,
face.
they-
People have.
All the
Moses saw
verses
God.
contradict themselves.
On a piece of toast.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. People
Because
in
it
the
said-
Bible,
it said that
people
Moshe
in the
looked-
Bible
not
saw
Moshe,
God
Noah.
face to face and lived.
Well, there's like
It
stories
said-
where Jesus would go up on a mountain and he would talk to God, his dad.
Who was it that seen him face to face?
Right. Like, how does Jesus go on top of a mountain and talk to God, and then Matthew or Mark writes that down? Like, how did he even know what Jesus said on on the mountain? Like, you think Jesus came back and says, like,
Wait, who's seen him face to face? Who's seen God face to face? Where does it say that?
Moses? No, I'm asking.
Moses. Hold on.
I'm asking
Hold on.
God's words written in
Hey!
red. Who did he tell that
KG,
to?
stop. KG, hold on. Moses
I'm
saw
trying to
him.
learn.
Moses saw him. Jacob saw him because he wrestled him. Like there's a lot of people in the Bible who saw God face to face.
Was that God? That Jacob
Yeah,
wrestled?
it
I thought that was an angel.
Yeah, Jacob.
It was literally God.
Jacob. What was the name of the town?
Deep game
Jacob saw
flocking.
God.
Not a single author of the New Testament met Jesus. None of us met Jesus, and we still know the word.
Slow down.
I want to ask this question. What was the name of the town Jacob saw God?
Hold on, Lynx. So you're telling me, Lynx, that there are people out here who worship a God that can get beat up by a sheep herder?
Yes. Well, I mean, the only reason Altair, the only reason that God won is because he cheated.
He's a zombie.
That, you know what? I always thought that was an angel that he wrestles with. Now that you're telling me that it's God, I'm like, what?
Well, he wrestled with God. He wrestled with God, for sure.
Don't we all?
Anyway, the town Jacob saw God was Peniel. His name is down.
I ain't never wrestled with God. Never. I ain't never seen him, heard of him, none of that shit. Well, I heard of him, but I ain't never seen him.
Bro,
Well,
you know
supposedly,
you heard you heard of You God, bro.
Yeah,
You seen You God.
the phony fucker from the Wu-Tang Clan.
You better be careful, bro. You know, he don't wrestle. He uses iron palm technique.
Bro, he's still the phoniest one in Wu-Tang, so for sure.
He
Well,
was the
him and
weakest one in
Capadonna.
that Wu-Tang.
Him and Capadonna.
you
Or
guys
is
talk
him and
about wrestling
Capadonna the
because
same person?
Archangel Michael
No,
and
wait,
Satan fought over Moses' body. You ever hear that?
Capadonna he was actually with Wu-Tang? I thought he was affiliated with Wu-Tang.
Yeah, he's
I
milked
can't
this
remember,
cow
man.
the best way we know how.
There's so many of them motherfuckers that you get confused after a while. Maybe he's one of the killer bees. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, that's
I
what
got
I
the
was
Wu
thinking. I
Tang
thought he
symbol
was a
tattooed
killer
on my
bee.
back.
In the slums of Shaolin.
But
Trading whatever. Trading
my
with. Let
thing
me get your age
is,
and religion.
yeah, I'm 28. I'm a child of Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian.
So he has sex with your. Wait a minute. So he has sex with your. Jesus has sex with your mom.
What?
You said
you the one
that you a child of Jesus.
Yes.
So he hit
So
that.
Jesus impregnated your mother?
You got the virgin mama?
Oh my gosh. I'm a
Yeah,
child
nobody
of
gets
God.
killed except for my
Jesus is
parents. My wife
God.
came home and said she was pregnant from God. I'd be like, whatever.
Yeah, let me explain that. So you know how people say I'm a child of God? Okay, I say I'm a
That's a
child of
different story.
Jesus because because Jesus is God. So I use it interchangeably. But yes,
So he
that's what I
must have went
do.
like that. All right, now go ahead with
I'm
your
a
point.
child
Though.
of God. I'm a child of
So, brother
Jesus.
Trading, can I ask you a question? Do you have 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and 6 protons in your body?
Well, first off,
Are you a 12 carbon being?
we aren't brothers. First off, second off, I
Wait,
don't.
hold on. My brother in Christ. Calm down before you jump on me now. I'm trying to
We aren't
save
brothers.
your soul. What are you talking about? My brother in Christ? Come
We
on.
aren't. You're a
So I'm
Christian?
asking you, brother, are you a 12 carbon being?
That's
I-
actually 18.
No, I'm a child of God. I'm who God says I am.
Right.
Holy
So
fuck.
Wait a minute. So now you
This
got
guy
three.
just
You got a
converted
real
me.
dad. You a child of Jesus, and you a child of God.
Jesus is God, buddy. That's what you guys fail to realize. That's what you
I don't
guys
want to
fail
say
to
it. I
realize.
don't want to say it.
Brother.
I don't want to say it, but somebody I know
Jesus
gets
is not,
around.
Yeah, Father,
Jesus
Son,
is
Holy
not God,
Spirit.
brother. Jesus
Yeah,
is
he
not
is.
God, brother. Don't tell these
Colossians.
That sound like
non-believers.
a train.
Don't,
Choo
Well,
choo.
don't be telling these non-believers that Jesus is God, man, because they're going to break that down. Don't you know we got to talk to these non-believers in the holy matrimony of the sanctity
Sir,
under
I
the
don't
blood of
know
the
you,
cruise to the third right of God,
and
man.
hold on. Bro.
There's the
No, you
Father
do
and the
know me.
Son.
I am your
Who's the
brother,
Holy
brother.
Spirit?
We were there together. God counted all the numbers of hairs upon our head, and He named them. Me and you were there together, brother. We took
So
communion together. What
you
do you
have
mean you don't
something
know me?
demonic on your picture, so I
No,
already
brother.
know
Why
that
would
you're
you
not a
say that I have
Christian.
something
So
demonic? I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, brother. How
going
in the
forward,
world?
I rather speak with Reggie or someone else. I'm gonna fully
Why
ignore.
would you rather speak with a non-believer?
I'm
Why
gonna
would you not
ignore
want to
this
speak to
guy.
me,
I'm
brother?
gonna
I am just as fanatical
starting
as you
in.
are.
Hold on, altar is starting in 10 seconds. I'm ignoring you. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's have a
Brother, why would
conversation.
you ignore the voice of God, man? Don't you know
All
this
right,
is the Holy
Reggie.
Spirit speaking through me right
Hey,
now
Reggie,
to
let's have a
warn you?
You can
Do
count
not go
backwards
against
proper.
brother Reggie. God said, "Thou
Reggie. Let's
shalt
have a
not sin against brother
conversation.
Reggie." That's what God said.
Let's
He's telling me
let's
this. He
have
said,
a
"Hold on,
con.
laka shama lama 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 himi
Hey,
lama
Reggie,
lama
let's
lama
have a
lama in the name of
conversation if
Jesus, brother."
that's
You
fine.
don't do that.
Yeah, I can't hear that other guy, but yeah, let's have a conversation.
Brother, I was speaking in the words of our Father, Jesus, man. You don't understand our language?
Can I give 3 perspectives of the Bible?
Yeah, you want to have a conversation with me? I can't hear the other guy, so yeah.
I was
Yeah.
having a conversation with you,
I'm
brother.
just
Go ahead.
open mind and 3 perspectives of the Bible is you know, I believe Jesus walked on water, but it was probably winter. And
No, it wasn't winter.
he turned water into wine, but it probably took some sugar and yeast in a week or so.
No. You have it wrong. See,
And if you're
cognac, brother.
I got one more to go. I'll land this plane. And if 3 wise men showed up with expensive gifts to a virgin Mary for a miracle freaking baby, and then deeked off. That's a Jerry Springer episode right there.
Jerry.
I don't understand this, brother Reggie. You see all of the division that we have in our church, brother. I was trying to speak to this brother in the mighty name of our powerful God Almighty, and he was just like, I'm going to ignore you. He said that there was a demon upon me. Well, you know, they said to our Messiah that he casted out demons in the name of demons. But did our Messiah not say, brother Trindon, did he not say that how is it that a house divided against itself will stand? Did our Messiah not say, you know, our Messiah, father, cousin, uncle, sister, brother, did he not say that?
Can y'all hear anything? I can't hear anything.
You Muslim? Lord help you.
Anyways, Reggie, can we have a conversation?
If you're
about
Muslim,
The reason why you cannot hear me right now, brother, is because you don't have the spirit of discernment upon you.
Anyways,
it has not been loosed in you.
So
The
the fact of the matter
holy
is that
matrimony
yes,
of
the
God's
single
seed
author of the
has
New
not moved
Testament,
throughout you, brother.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. John was actually sleeping on the chest of Jesus. So yeah, that actually is in the Bible. So
Hey, I got a Muslim. I got a Muslim.
Okay, so let's talk about John. Now you talk about John the Baptist or John the Apostle?
Oh, John the Baptist, I think he's talking about.
yeah, I'm talking about John the Baptist.
No, let him. Okay, so number one, right? Number one, and KG, don't help him. Based off what you just said, trading, you have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You do not know nothing that you're talking about. Off dribble, off the top, because John the Baptist didn't write shit. So all this stuff about you, the shit you saying don't make no sense. Number one, it's about John the Apostle. So let's talk about John the Apostle. John the Apostle allegedly lived from 6 AD to 99 AD or 100 AD, depending on which version of this fucking lie you believe, right? The book of John allegedly was written between the years of 90 AD and 120 AD, which means 20 or 21 years of the writing of this book, John wasn't even alive. On top of the fact, what you're claiming is that a person that was in their 90s started writing a fucking book in a language that Jesus never fucking spoke.
Yeah, and I heard all these disciples were illiterate.
Yeah, so the Bible is
They couldn't read.
We're not talking about the Bible. We are talking about the book of John. We are talking about the book of John specifically and only.
Okay, so I take back my statement. Yeah,
I would too.
You lied?
Brother,
I didn't lie. I misspoke.
How dare you lie?
Hold on.
I didn't lie. I just looked it up and I didn't know.
Everybody just chill out for a second. Everybody just chill out for a second.
So
let's just chill out for a second. Now, Reggie and Traden are having a conversation, and it's kind of hard to hear what they're saying. You know, I know everybody's excited. They want to ask a question, but if everybody can mute up until they have an allotted time to talk, because somebody got some background noise and I can't hear.
Yeah, it is like a buzzing noise.
I'm sorry, that might be the spirit of Christ moving throughout me because I am in my prayer closet praying upon
you. Mute the spirit of Christ for now. Thank you.
I'm 75% sure that guy is not even a Christian. But anyways,
he's not. He's fucking with you.
Exactly. My discernment's on point. Thank you, Holy Ghost. But anyways, so yeah, so
getting haunted by the Holy Ghost? Sorry, I just had to ask. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, bro.
So we're gonna go ahead and dismiss. We're gonna go ahead and dismiss the Book of John, right? We're gonna put that one to the side.
Let's move past.
Yeah, let's move on to another one.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the fact of the matter is.
Right.
It says not, Matthew, John, James, and John. Yeah, they literally were tending the field.
Okay, John is done. John is.
I'm talking about the other John.
Done.
James' brother John.
There's only one John writer, and that's the Apostle John, and we already broke him down. So anything about John is already over with. You got to move to a different person.
Okay, James.
Okay, so James is there a book named James in the Bible?
Yes.
Okay, James.
Yes.
Okay, so look to my favorite website, right? It's called Early Christian Writings, and I'm gonna explain to you why once I get to the
Wait,
book
wait.
of
Who
James.
who made the website though? Because if it's who made the website?
It's not about a person who makes it. They put information in it. I'll break it down to you, and why I like it. Okay, so the letter of James. Okay.
Yeah, the book
So
of James.
what year did Jesus' brother James die? Do you know?
No.
Okay. I don't know neither. Let's look it up.
Wait, you're godless? Like you're without God?
And so are you.
How dare you say that? I rebuke that in Jesus' name. I'm saved by grace through faith in Jesus. I'm saved
No,
by.
you're not.
Yeah, I am. How dare you say that? I'm saved. Don't
I
you?
was saved. I was saved by Dr. Patel.
I have
Okay,
God.
so listen.
I'm saved by
Okay,
grace.
so listen. So Jesus' brother, James, which
Yeah.
was older than, and James was older than Jesus, which I don't understand how that's true, but that's a different story.
Human wise,
So
that's possible. Human wise, but go ahead.
okay, so hold on. Fuck
They
that.
are.
How? Listen, hold on. Stop. How is it humanly possible that Jesus had an older brother? Explain that to me. Nobody don't say nothing but him.
So with regards to Jesus, after the the virgin birth, he actually so he had a brother. I mean, what do you mean? His mom had another child.
How is it possible that a virgin had a child older than her first child?
Oh, let me pull up the verse. Hold on, give me like 20 seconds.
You need to put that damn pipe down. Put it down.
Drop the Bible. Common sense. How is it possible?
Right.
Blows mine even more. Jesus had 4 brothers and 3 sisters.
Right. With a 12-year-old mom. All right. Now, let's just leave that part alone, right?
Yeah, so she was a virgin, sir. So I don't know what you're talking about, but that my stances come from the Bible, and the Bible says it was a virgin birth. So
But you're playing stupid. It's no way that he could have an older brother. It's not possible. It's not possible. But that's a different story, right? We getting off.
They called it a relative, so that's fine. It's not modern.
It's not his fucking brother. It's not his brother. Either it's not his brother or he don't have an older brother.
I don't know that language back then and how they used to call brother, like how we call a brother. So I don't.
Trading. Stop playing stupid. Stop playing stupid. The same fucking way they call Cain and Abel fucking brothers because they both came out their mama's same twat. Fool.
Okay. Well,
quit playing down.
Well, maybe he was his brother, but not biologically.
Well, maybe exactly. He wasn't his brother, so we already know that. So that's number one. Listen. No, he wasn't. Fuck, he wasn't.
He was.
Listen, how the fuck?
But we can
did
agree.
He have an older brother? No. We don't have to agree to disagree because I'm not finna sit here and play stupid for you just because that's what you want to do. I don't feel like playing stupid. I'm in reality. I know that. Listen. I know that a person that allegedly got knocked up when she was pregnant ain't no motherfucker. I mean, excuse me, that got knocked up when she was pregnant. That got knocked up when she was fucking a virgin. Ain't no way that she got an older child. But that's a different story, right? Because we're getting off track. But that does prove that James actually never existed. You were trying to move the goalposts and saying, maybe it was just his relative. Well, the Bible said it's I'm a lying ass motherfucker. Fuck out of here with that dumb shit. So let's get back to James, right? That's not his relative. That's not his brother, and that he doesn't fucking know him because he never existed. But that's a different story. Allegedly, James. Listen, James never existed. Allegedly,
he wrote a
stop fucking interrupting me. Shut the fuck up. Allegedly, this person, James, died in 62 AD. Now, this source that I'm going to, that's called Early Christian Writings, the estimated dating range is 70 AD to 100 AD, right? So James wasn't even alive. However you look at the situation, he had already been dead. Now let's get on the scholarship of the situation, right?
The book
Kummel
was
presents
written
the
already.
reasons that most scholars suspect James to be a pseudograph, or how you pronounce that. Somebody is pseudograph. I know it means a liar. I know that pseudo means lies. Graph. The
Pseudo?
cultural language of James.
Like
No,
pseudo?
it's spelled like pseudo, but it's pseudepigraph, which means a liar. The cultural language of James is not that
He's a liar, though.
of a simple Palestinian. Seven stirs evidence that the Greek language was much used in Palestine at the time and could be learned does not prove that a Jew whose mother tongue was Aramaic could have normally written in literary Greek. Most of those who defend the theist that James was written by the Lord's brother must assume that it achieves its linguistic form through the help of a Hellenistic Jew, but there is no evidence in the text that the assistant of the secretary gave shape to the present linguistic state of the document. And even if this were the case, the question would still remain completely unanswered. Which part of the whole comes from the real author and which part comes from the secretary? Number two, it is scarcely conceivable that the Lord's brother, who remained faithful to the law, could have spoken of the perfect law of freedom, or that he could have given concrete expression to the law and the ethical command without mentioning even explicitly any cultic ritual requirements. Would the brother of the Lord really omit any reference to Jesus as his relationship to him, even though the author of James emphatically presents himself in an authorship role? Number four, the debate in 214 with misunderstood secondary stage of Paulinian theology not only presupposes a considerable chronological distance from Paul, whereas James died in the year 62, like I told you, but also betrays complete ignorance of the polemical intent of Paulinian theology, which lapse can scarcely be attributed to James, who as late as 55-56 met with Paul in Jerusalem. Number five, as the history of the canon shows, it was only very slowly and against opposition that James became recognized as the work of the Lord's brother, therefore as apostolistic and canonical. Thus, there does not seem to have any old tradition that it originated with the brother of the Lord. Does any of that make sense to you when I'm reading to you?
So none of that is in the Bible, and it does not support with regards to how I believe the word of God.
Yes, it is in the Bible.
Now okay, you're reading external commentary, sir.
The only thing that I'm not saying is exactly what chapter it is, but what I'm reading to you is about these books. It is basically describing everything in that book.
About these books in the Bible.
Right. It's about the book of James. It's about the book of James, right? And for example, right?
And who wrote that?
Listen. The book of James, what I read to you.
Secular
sources. Listen. James never mentions himself in the book of James as Jesus's brother. He never does that.
I have to.
So that's in the book.
No, I'm talking about the whole Bible.
Listen, we're talking about one specific book. We're talking about James.
Yeah, we're having a conversation about
James. No, we're having a conversation about the New Testament. Listen, we can do whatever I say, not what you say, because you're nobody.
I'm nobody. I'm a son of God. How dare you say that?
No, you're not. You're a son of a biatch at best.
You are a son of a bus licker, a bus window licker. That's what.
So if you don't believe James is Jesus' older brother, then that's the Bible's lying. Then you must think the Bible's lying. Like you don't.
No, the Bible never lies.
Listen, if Jesus has an older brother, then the Bible is lying.
Real talk, brother. Reggie. Might I ask him a question? I would like to. I would like to know.
Brother.
I would like to know.
No, the virgin. She is a virgin.
Trading. Let me ask you a question, brother. I mean, what all serious aside.
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's fine, sister. So anyway, what I was saying, what I'm trying to.
Don't you dare call me a woman. What is wrong with you?
Well, you said you are not my brother, so I would have assumed that you are my sister. What is the problem?
Where are you from? America?
Hold on, trading. What's wrong with being a woman?
I built America.
Where are you from? America?
I built America on my back. I carried it to the neighbor of mine. reservations.
No,
Yes.
you didn't.
Yes, I built America. But I need to ask you.
So don't ever call me
You
a
built
woman
America,
again.
but you don't know yet because I'm going to write a book about it 500 years from now.
You can't control what somebody else say, Trader. Come on, man.
That's common respect. As a man, you don't call another man a woman. Like,
Well, you said you were not my brother, so I would just assume you are my sister.
He gotta ask you, and so you can answer it because we all that back and forth. That shit don't mean nothing.
Yeah,
I just need you to answer. I just need you
I'm
to
just
answer.
saying, don't call me a woman.
You can't call another man a woman, then you
Again. You
How
said
do you
don't
feel
call.
about
You
you
told
being
him
the
not to call
bridegroom,
you
you
brother.
being the
You told
groom?
him not
I
to
mean,
call
the
you
wife.
brother, so he changed it. There should be nothing wrong. You
There's
said don't
nothing
call
wrong
you
with
brother. He said
It's
sister.
okay to be a woman. It's all right.
Yeah, don't call me sister.
The Bible calls you a woman.
Well, what
In the
would you-
bridegroom,
No, it
you're the
doesn't.
wife. Jesus
Okay,
marries
call
you.
him
No, it
cousin.
doesn't.
Arcturus. Call him cousin.
No, do not call me your cousin. We are not
cousin.
related.
All right, hold on.
Okay,
Before we go on, trading. Are you the bride of Christ?
Yes,
So what you tripping for?
I'm the bride of
You're a
Christ.
bitch. Hey, you're a bitch, brother.
So as long as you're a wife to Jesus, that don't matter being called a female.
I didn't say I was a
or
wife.
being
I'm the
called to have
bride.
a feminine title.
You are Jesus'
As long
bitch,
as
brother.
it's attached to Jesus, you don't mind having a feminine title. So you like being a cuckold for Christ.
No, actually, I'm not.
Just let me know.
I'm not a
You
wife.
like
I'm a
being
bride.
That's what you're into,
I'm a bride of
Trendy,
Christ.
You like being a cuckold for Christ?
No, I'm
If
a
that's what
bride.
you're into,
I'm the
brother,
bride.
there's
We're the
nothing wrong
bride
Yes,
with
a
that.
cuckold for
I'm
Christ.
the
You
child
bend
of
it over for
God.
Jesus. We know what
There's
you
nothing
do.
wrong. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
You bend it over for Jesus. There's nothing wrong for that.
That's blasphemy. by
If
the way.
Jesus is your boyfriend and your husband, there's nothing wrong
Is
with it.
you his wife? You his
You his
bride?
wife. You gonna warm his bed
his-
at night as his bed mate.
You his busted baby.
There is not a problem with another man grabbing another man's inner thigh or washing
Right.
his feet.
There's a reason why the 144,000 have to be
I would
virgins.
wash my Lord and Savior's
There's
feet.
a
I would.
reason why the 144,000 have to be virgin men. I wonder why.
But
There's a whole
I
reason
wonder why.
there's not a
yeah,
mother
I would
that
I would definitely wash my Lord and
Because you're
Savior's
gonna be the
feet.
bride of another man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We're at
Hey,
2025.
Trending, brother. Listen, you shouldn't be mad. Your mother. Your
embrace it.
Have you ever heard the story? Have you ever heard the story of Adam and Eve? That was literally two men in the garden that created
No, it wasn't.
8.7 billion people. Yes,
No,
brother.
it
Both of
wasn't.
them.
It was a
both of
man
them
and
had-
a woman. That's
Yeah,
a lie
it was
from
no, it
hell.
was two men.
I don't want
It
to
was
talk to
two
you.
men.
You're a liar.
No,
You're
I'm
a
not
liar.
I am not a liar, my friend.
It was a
I am
man
not
and a
lying.
woman. We're not friends.
No. Okay. So let me ask
I
you
mean,
this.
how do we
brother.
know it's a
If
man
I
and a
put- if
woman?
I
I
put
mean,
you
you're
to
gonna
sleep-
be a part of
Because
the
the
bride
Bible
of
says
Christ.
so. The
You're gonna
Bible
be a
says
part
so.
of the bride of
Let me ask
Christ,
you
and you're a
this.
man.
Let me
The
ask you a
Bible
question,
says
Trendy.
so.
Let me ask you a question, Trendon. So if I put you to sleep, right, and I take from you
You can't put me to
a piece
sleep.
of your cell, your ribos bone, right? If I take that from you and then I create a woman out of that ribos bone, have I not cloned you?
No, it's not called cloning. It's creation.
No, it's called cloning, brother.
No, it
because
is
it's not.
cloning,
It's
sweetheart.
not cloning.
When you take matter
I will
from
explain this to you because
when-
brother Reggie,
It's called
brother
a
Reggie,
miracle.
is it not so, brother Reggie, that in Genesis chapter 1, he said, "Let us make male and female in our own image." He made them, and then is it not so in Genesis chapter 2? He had a man in there, and he seen that the man was fucking the animals and everything, so he said he needs a wife. So then he laid
That's
this
not
man down and
biblical.
put him into a deep
That's
sleep
not biblical.
and plucked
that's
from this
very
man his
biblical.
ribos bone and
That's not
created a
biblical.
woman from this.
Yes,
And
it
did not
is.
Adam say? Did not Adam say when he was a bitch ass motherfucker because God came down and got mad? Did not Adam say it's because of this woman that you have given me, who is flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone? Now, when you say flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone, she was literally created from Adam. So I don't think there was a pure chromosome.
Yeah, that if a woman's not a virgin, you must stone her. Like, so all the women were virgins, so they weren't even with any women. So, yeah, the whole thing's starting.
I must say, I must really say, God really knows how to pick them. He knows who he can have to sit on their knees and gobble up. He knows. He knows. He did. He knows that Job was gonna sit on his knees and gobble up. That's why he did what he did with Satan.
Absolutely.
And told him to go do what he did. Because he know Job at the end of the day was still gonna be on his knees with his hand clasped together with his head moving back and forth. He knew that.
Yeah, they were originally called, instead of gospels,
You know
they
the
were called
crazy
the
part.
gag.
You know the crazy
Gag.
part, really, baby. You know the crazy part, Lily baby, is that even when this God changed his name to Allah, he encouraged his greatest prophet to
Right,
take long
but guess what?
from
Even in
meaning that
Allah, even in the name Allah, you hear the word
Allah
ah.
is a,
You see how your
Allah is
mouth got
not
to be open
God.
to do that? Allah.
Allah
The
is
same
not
way with
God.
God. You
It's
see
false.
God, your mouth got to be open. God. Every time you say his name, your mouth, your lips open up wide. Because he knows that you're going to gargle up every time you pray to him. He knows
Yeah,
that.
whenever you're horny, you go, oh my God.
He knows that. He knows that your head is going to bob and you're going to gargle on his heavenly meat. He knows this. Which is why he allows to fuck people over, because he knows at the end of the day he can be destructive and he can pose all kinds of harm in people's life, and people are still gonna suck him up.
The holy meat of heaven.
Yeah, and
God's
he likes gay shit so much. He's the only person to take his body to heaven.
Tip to base, he wants you to gargle, and he is going to allow you to gargle every
Blasphemy. That is demonic. What you guys are saying?
No,
blasphemy. Right now.
No, man, we're just testing your faith, man.
You gargling on it right now. Can't
demonic.
nobody say nothing about this
That's
God without you gargling, without you being on
that's
your knees.
that's
Your
not
knees, you
accurate.
still on your knees. Get up. Get off your knees off for this God.
Man, I'm exposing the
Stand
devil
up.
because
Stand
you guys
up. I
are
understand he
you guys
bends
are
you over every
possessed right
now and
now.
again, but I need you to stand up every once in a while, okay?
You guys need to
But I
repent.
mean, you don't have to.
You
I don't understand
understand?
why you're getting so angry. I don't understand why you're getting so angry,
Because
brother.
he knows he gargles for God.
Y'all share the live, y'all. Tap the screen, y'all.
He gargles for God. He's a cuckold for Christ. This is him.
But you shouldn't be mad about that, Lily baby. Like when you're devoted to somebody, right? When you're devoted to somebody and you can't ever so gently caress their balls and place their phallic on the back of your tonsils while you're praying upon the holy name. There's something wrong with that. That's a man's love for a man, is it not? Is it not so that we should grab the inner thigh?
First of all, I just want to know what one man is going to do with 144,000 male virgins. Like, that's a lot, you know. If that's not a big party, I don't know what it is.
That might be a lot to you, but that's like a Monday to me.
That's a
I
party.
do know one thing.
144,000 virgins.
Said on
I bet
Monday.
you when they are fighting, it
Are
will
you
sound like a choir.
Y'all need
Hey, serious science
Y'all
question
need
here.
to- y'all need
If
to
Jesus
repent.
was born of a woman and a virgin birth, wouldn't he only have woman chromosomes?
I'm leaving because y'all are demonic and talking.
I mean, if you want to leave and go gargle some more in your prayer closet,
This is
that's
not an
fine.
airport.
I
You don't
mean,
have to announce you're
it's
leaving.
not hurting anyone. You can
No,
go
because
gargle in
y'all
your
are
prayer
actually
closet.
blaspheming
You can
my
suck
God.
up in your prayer closet. It's not hurting no one.
I'm not
Have a
staying
good
for
one.
this. You guys are blaspheming my
Brother,
God.
listen. I would do you one even better. I would slap the shit out of your God if he was real. Like if you would tell me.
Not even that. Next time you speak to your God trading, I want you to hold him by the balls while you suck him. Do you hear
Ever
me?
so gently.
Ever so gently. And I want your head to move slow.
Caress
You
him.
understand me? I want you
Very
to
slow.
slowly move your head. I want you to even swirl your tongue around a couple of
That
times.
is right.
This is what I want you to do. Because you gargle up God
y'all are
all the
literally
way down your
possessed
throat. You are
with
a
the
deep
spirit of
throater.
Jezebel
A deep throater
and
for the
the
divine.
spirit of
You
lust
deep
and
throat the
Jezebel.
divine.
Y'all
That's
need
what
to.
you
I
do.
love Jezebel.
Y'all
She
need
was a
to
bad
You are a
repent.
deep throater for the divine.
You guys
God
need to
knows he can
repent
use your mouth.
and
He
talk
knows
to
he can use
Jesus.
your mouth. He
for the
knows
deep
that
throater.
you are a
The
And by the
spiritual
way, if you
cum
want to make
duck.
me come, you got to put
The
your finger in
realest
my
thing
butt.
in that Bible was the women. I love Jezebel. She was awesome. I
Tap
loved
the
her.
screen, y'all.
Anyways, how everybody day going? Y'all good? Y'all all
Hey,
right?
Lily.
Hi. You know I gotta make Christians run. It's my favorite time, pastime of the day. I love it.
Especially him, cause
Right.
he love to get up on the
Right.
panels.
He's
Why
so
Christians be like that,
I
man? He
was
come up
trying
here
to
like a
hold. I
robot.
was
They always
trying
preach
my
the
best
same.
to hold out. Stephanie was chastising me. She was like, "Now you sit down and go get in the corner, young man," while she's laughing. You know, when you tell your kids not to do something, but you're laughing because they did it. She's like, "Now you go sit down and let him hang himself."
All right, Muslims. I've heard somewhere where Allah says that Jesus was a prophet, but he was a true prophet, but his disciples went crazy and they killed him. Where's that written at?
Wait, Allah didn't say that.
I've heard it several times.
You're talking about Muhammad, but
I
listen.
heard Allah said it.
Listen, brother. Muhammad had many men to deal with. Do you think that Muhammad half the time couldn't even speak in his right mind? He was partaking in very, 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 very dark rituals.
Yeah, how many
So,
wives do you have?
hmm?
Ain't that man?
Oh, it
Like,
wasn't really
didn't
about. It
he
wasn't
like?
really about
Didn't
the
he
wives.
marry a underage child?
Sure did.
Yeah.
She was only 12 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yep. And you know, and that stuff still goes on. Lily, baby, did you guys see? Have you guys seen how the Somalis are losing their mind? The Muslim
Oh
are
yeah,
losing their
no.
mind.
I'm not surprised by that. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised by
You
that.
being
Anytime there
very
is a,
generous with that 12.
anytime there
Very
is a,
generous.
anytime there
Yeah,
is
because in
a,
the Hadith she was 8, brother.
anytime there is a super religious country,
6.
I always know that there are going to be some morals that are just thrown away and questioned, right? Because in order for morals to be questioned, you need religion because that's the only way that it can go against the basis of human morality, right?
Right.
So I'm going to give you this prophet or this person that we say is important, and then I'm gonna make them do all kind of terrible, heinous shit. But because I named them a prophet and told you that they're important, now that shit don't matter. You see how that works? Like the same way the same way Christians glaze over the fact that Jesus was called that Canaanite woman a fucking dog. Like I mean, or the fact that if he wasn't going to break the law, he would have definitely let those people stone that woman in the middle. Like he definitely would have did that shit. He would have let them do it. So I'm just saying, I don't.
Yeah, it's something
Absolutely
about
not.
that Abrahamic. It's something about that Abrahamic doctrine that is just so jacked up. Like compared to all of the religions that you hear about, even the Luciferians and Satanism. When you listen to the Abrahamic indoctrination, look everywhere the Abrahamic indoctrination has went, it has brought nothing but slavery, pestilence, capitalism. I mean, you name it. Everything that comes with that Abrahamic religion, everywhere it
And we
goes.
still trying to figure out who the fuck this Abraham is. I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck is Abraham and how the fuck we got his religion. Cause like, where the fuck? I don't even know an Abraham in my fucking family. Goddamn, the last Abraham I heard of was Lincoln, and we and I'm supposed to believe in this goddamn deity that this supposed Abraham left behind. No, absolutely not.
Oh, she said I don't even know. You know, unfortunately, I do have an Ibram in my family, but
You
you
have
know,
an eyebrow. You have an eyebrow. You see, it makes
yeah,
sense. Eyebrow. See, that's the see. I'm black. See, I'm a Negro. You know what I'm saying? I've
me
been
too.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me
Negro. You
too.
know what I'm saying? As far as a Negro in America, so we don't got no Abrams or Abrahams and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't got that. So I don't understand why
I
they
know
trying
so.
to give us to believe in this Aramaean Abraham, right? That said he met God in the middle of the desert. You know.
I actually believe it or not, the side of my family, my mother's side is the American side. I was born here in the United States,
You was born
but
in the United States. Where you get that
yeah,
accent from?
yeah, Dade County, Miami, Florida is where I was born.
You know what? It makes sense. It makes
Yeah,
sense. You know, y'all real diverse down there in Miami, in
yeah.
Florida. Y'all real diverse. You don't know. It's you can get. You know, it's like at church where you get like that mixing bowl of candy. Like you put your hand in, you don't know what you get. That's Florida. You know, y'all are like a mixing bowl of races. Like you don't
It's a
never know
whole
what
nother
you're gonna come
country.
across.
You
Literally.
really do sound like the man from Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, like for real. Like the way that when he be talking about them folks' houses and shit. He sound like him.
You know who he sound like.
You
Y'all
honestly
know
think
who
that
he sound like.
you know he was British.
Y'all remember the butler off of Fresh Prince?
He don't sound like Jeffrey.
Yeah, he does sound like it.
He sound like Jeffrey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shots fired. You capping now? No.
Not Jeffrey.
We love the accent though. You know, it's real smooth. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody
Thank
can
you.
pull that off. You know, not
Thank you. I
everybody can pull
appreciate
it
it.
off.
I've got like 6 of them. I bought them off the TikTok shop.
How you bought? Tell me where you bought them at. I want one. I want to be. You know, I want to
I
be.
want to sound like Marsha Ambrosius.
Not a Marsha.
Sound like Marsha.
Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying though, on my mother's side, they're Christian, Well, they've went through all walks of the Christian diaspora. What do you want, girl?
I was asking if you know where the era was written is at.
No.
And I just also want to say for the Christians for the last Christian who came up here and for the people who believe that all the people in the New Testament met Jesus. If that was the case, then if that was the case, then the Jews would have wrote about it. Okay. The Jews would have wrote about it. They would have did it, okay? The people this so-called aka fake Messiah, fake prophet, fake everything. Okay. If he was real in any capacity in the Jews' eyes, they would have wrote about that nigga. They would have wrote about him. You know, especially considering how meticulous they are with their own goddamn religion, you would think they would have wrote about him.
Well, the thing is that not only would they have written about it, there would have been some type of preserving of historical evidence, because when it comes to Muhammad, right? We know Muhammad actually lived. He was a real person, and there is historical evidence of this person. There are also people that are of that bloodline, the Hanamic bloodline, or whatever. But you can't, you know, when it comes to Christianity. You know, when like we had a guy come in here earlier saying that he was the son of Jesus or whatever, but none of them, like none of that has ever been. I don't understand it. It just, I don't know. It baffles me.
They colonized the religion that wasn't there. That's what they did. They colonized it. They took a religion, right? Originally, the Catholics colonized the religion that wasn't there, and then they added a character, and then they changed some rules around and put their own little ruleship and own little ideologies inside, mixed it up, and then posted Christianity at the top, stamped it, and then spread it to the world. Right? Here you go. Here you go. Right?
And they actually colonized. It wasn't even a religion. They colonized a myth. That's what they people's myths.
A fucking cult.
Right.
Literally, you colonize the myth and then turned it into a cult. Okay.
Yep.
Then you're going to go around and tell people that they're going to burn up for not joining your cult. You see how that works?
Yep.
Like what?
Oh wait, brother Reggie, do you remember? You remember when the Bible baby? Does he come in your lives?
It's been a while, but I know who he is though.
Yeah. So me and him got into an argument the other day, and I was telling, Bible baby is YT. So I told him, I said, well, you know. He came in and he was complaining about the Black Hebrew indoctrination or whatever. And I was saying, you know, I don't really care too much for any of it because it's a bunch of damn rubbish. But I told him, I said, I don't understand why any man who would be YT or anybody that did anything to these so-called chosen people of the Bible would want to serve a God that said that he's going to punish you for what your forefathers have done. Like, even if you didn't do it, right? Even if you had nothing to do with it and didn't have it in your heart to do it, you might disdain it, and you can't stand what the travesty that's taking place in the history. But still, you would want to serve that God when he's saying that he is going to punish you for the sins of your forefathers for what you've done or the transgressions to these people. I'm like, damn, do you not see what he's doing to his people now? Like, you still have people that those Hebrews that you're arguing with, they still believe that they live under the curse of Deuteronomy 28, and look at what they're going through, and you want to still, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why, you wouldn't turn to Odin or Zeus or you know what I mean? A good white pantheon, the one that's not threatening you. You get what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Because it's no different than when you talk to somebody else about a different topic about the Bible that that doesn't suit their narrative. Like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. When I'm talking to a woman, right, and she comes up on the panel and she's a believer, and I start giving her reasons why she shouldn't believe, and started giving her verses where it's telling her that basically you don't even qualify for hell, and it's saying it crystal clear. Oh well, Jesus died for our sin, and you just got to have faith. It's like they just overlook it. It's like it's not there because it doesn't affect them, so they don't like that part, so they just gonna move to the part they like.
It's weird. I mean, when you stop and you just think about it, it's just weird. And man, our people, Reggie, they really be getting me sometimes, because I just be like, bro, like not one time did this God swoop down to stop the oppression of our people, to stop us from, having welts and stuff. I got a grandmother, bro. She's 109 years old, right? And the stories and stuff that she tells, but at the same time, she'd be telling me these stories, which she's older. So I mean, I would never do what I do online to her directly, but she'd be telling me these stories like, yeah, God came and set us free. And I'm thinking to myself, like, no, he did not. Like, talking about how the stuff she used to have to do when she was a young girl and how, I mean, it's appalling to listen to, but she said that she just kept her faith in God, and then God decided to set them free. And I'm like, what the, wow. So you get snatched from Africa, taken to Brazil, and from Brazil to the shores of North America, and then you work for years. You work for years, blood and bone, and God set you free. Like, what did you do to God? You know what I mean? Like, those are the questions I want to ask. Like, what did you directly do to God? It's weird, man.
Yes, it is. It is. And then, like, some people will actually sit there and try to answer that question. Oh, we disobeyed him.
Right. How? How did we disobey him? Like, what did that? Well, we broke the commandments. Listen, we're not Hebrews. We're not Jews. Like, how did we break a commandment that we didn't even know existed? You know what I mean? Like, our people didn't even know about these things until it was put upon us. And then all of a sudden, we're paying for the sins of something somebody else came, and he clearly says that that's the people he came for. But yet we hate ourselves so much we want to be those people. Like, that's sad, bro. Like, that hurts my heart more than it does make me mad. It hurts my heart that such a number has been done on us with this religious rubbish.
Right. I agree. I definitely agree. And to me, that's my whole point of being on here. People are like, oh, why do you do this? For that reason. I'd be really trying to set Black people's minds free. Like, bro, like, I don't see how you don't realize it. Just look at, not too long ago history and just see how it came to us. It don't even make sense. Everything about it doesn't fit to our narrative. Like, okay, so let's just speak about women again, right? Okay, so that whole idea, like how a woman's supposed to be dressed basically from head to toe, that don't got nothing to do with Black people. That don't got nothing to do with Africans.
Nothing.
Think about it. Why would a man or a woman be dressed from head to toe in West fucking Africa? It's hot as fuck. Why would you do that?
The only time you would want to dress like, well, I will say this, it gets hot as fuck in that desert, so you need protective wear. But when we're talking about where this all took place, right, the Levant, in the Levant during that time would have had more of a tropical. It would have been more tropical-like, right? So why and why would you dress like that? Why wouldn't you wear as less clothing as you possibly could wear? Because not only were you hot, you were sweating from the bottom up. You see what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. It baffles me, and I get it. Me and my father, we don't even talk anymore. Especially when I brought up the fact that Muhammad was having trains ran on him, by jinn. We don't even talk anymore. I brought that up, because he's been very heavy on my brother. My brother is a part of the LGBTQ community, so he's been really, really hard on my brother. So I told my brother to say it to him, but my brother doesn't. He doesn't have the gumption to speak to our father that way. But I don't care. He don't pay my bills. So I brought that up. I'm like, how would you hate your own son? When your prophet was partaking in these things, at least your son is he's being proper about it. Your prophet was deep in the corridors of the Mahdi. So I mean, it's so hypocritical, bro.
I gotta tell you guys something.
I just wish
I'm a cracker.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go in a second. But one thing I just wish that everybody would understand is just a little bit about how the brain works. And what I mean by that is with the sexuality and with the belief system. Okay, so you don't have any control over what you're attracted to. You don't.
Right.
You do not have any control over what you believe. I'm not just selecting not to be Christian. I'm not Christian because I don't believe it. And no matter what you do, I'm not going to be able to believe it because I know it's not true. Go ahead, KG.
I was just saying, I wanted to let you guys know, like, I'm just confessing that I'm a cracker.
Wait, what?
I'm a cracker. But anyway,
Wait.
I'm white. I'm YT. But anyway, you guys were talking about black people, right?
Yeah.
In the ancient land of Chem, the first civilization ever was the Dogon tribe, and they were all black. And you ever hear the spirituality thing where like something's unlocking in our DNA or something?
Mm.
You ever hear that? The people I follow on TikTok and social media and stuff, the majority of them are black. Like, they're knowledgeable. They seem like you guys, they're unlocking faster. And I was thinking about it. I think that's the reason why maybe our society is like, you got been suppressed your whole lives, because they're trying to prevent you guys from waking up, unlocking, because I think you guys hold the key, something to do with that Dogon tribe. Like, once you guys start unlocking, like, it's just going to be like it's over for them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think the Dogon would be a good one to use, considering the Dogon helped with the slave trade. The Dogon were capturing other tribal people. Most of the people that came over here in slave ships were captured by the Dogon.
This was like ancient land of Egypt. Like, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, well, the Dogon have been around. The Dogon is still around today. Like, their tribe is still there.
If you're saying modern day Dogon people are doing that, like, do you have any evidence that they were doing it? Like, I'm trying to say that they were probably like, they're the first civilization. Like,
no, the Dogon people, I don't know how you. Why would you? Where is that information coming from? That they are the first civilization?
Like, I've been hearing that for years. Like, a couple people I follow, like, Billy Carson talked about him a lot. A guy named William Don. Like, I've looked at, like, I don't know. That's just what I've heard, and like,
yeah, I don't think I would consider them the first so-called civilization. I wouldn't say they weren't civilized. They were civilized, but as far as like the first civilization, I don't think I would really consider the Dogon.
Well, if they're in the ancient land of Chem, then maybe like the pyramids were there. Like,
when you say Chem, are you talking about what we call Egypt today?
That's Egypt. That's Egypt, the pyramids, all that stuff.
Yeah,
ancient land of Chem.
I'm Besha Naga Egyptian, brother. So when you say Kemet, right?
Yeah, they call it Kemet because they created chemistry.
No, it wasn't all. No. That again, that's fairy tale. That's people romanticizing what it was. The oldest name that we have for that landmass would have been Ang. That was the oldest name that we had for it. And there was one place that had a temple called Kakmaya, and it was in a place called El Satalexur, right? And today that place is called Luxor, Egypt. So there was a temple that was there. When the stones and stuff like the Rosetta stones and all that, and the Paparani were found, they translated some of the things in there, and then they said, well, this was the name of the whole landmass, right? Well, that's just not so. Now, we know that Africa is a colloquial term. Chem is a term given by somebody that, you know, that's not their people. That's not their history. They just tell it from somebody else's point. Like, that's how misinformation gets spread. Like, when people say, well, the Dogon are the first, you know, me personally, I think what the Dogon did was pretty shitty. I think what my people did was pretty shitty as well. But to say that they were the first civilization, I think that's a lot of that. What do you call it, Brother Reggie? What do you call it?
Pseudo.
Not pseudoscience, but what is it like when you romanticize a culture that you're going to cosplay, or a culture that you want to say that you're from, and then you romanticize? There's a word for that. I know it's pseudo.
Appropriating it.
Appropriated. That's it. Right. So a lot of times that's what gets told. A lot of these things, and that's how you get, you know, different types of information that that gets turned into something that is actually not. So like when we talk about civilization, brother, we have to remember those civilizations and stuff. There was civilization all over Africa, Mesopotamia, Rome. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like people don't want to talk about that. But I do also get it too, because I hear a lot of people on here who think they are Egyptologists that say that aliens built the pyramids or whatever, but never say that the aliens built the Roman Colosseum. The pyramids you can replicate, the Roman Colosseum you can't. So, a lot of times that information just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just reference something that I've heard over the years. Like, I don't like some of the shit I say. I don't believe in a lot of it or whatever. I'm just saying stuff that, it's out there. It's written down. Somebody said it. Like my true belief, what I do believe it'd be impossible for me to explain.